Getting things set up here, trying to get the chat going if possible. Juwan should be walking in, and Duke's going to be remoting in. Got some highlight videos set up with some of our local kids from semi-state. All right. All right, give me a second here to get this set up. Cool. All right, got the chat starting to pop up, so we can choose which ones we want to see. If someone talks some smack, I'm gonna test a quick video before we start moving on. Hopefully Duke gets in here soon. We can start going through these brackets and have some fun, right? What should we start off with? A little video. Let's do a biddle spladle. Yeah, baby. Like it was a horse too. Pumped. Good stuff. All right. Apologize for the wait. I wasn't late. Juwan's late, and Duke had to run home from practice real quick and try to jump on the interview part of it. We got a lot of stuff to do to get done, to get ready for tomorrow. Uh-oh. I'm getting text. That's not very nice. Rude. Like the cover photo? Cool. Kelly, you want to jump on? I can get you on. I'll send you a link. I'll pop you on. You wouldn't be a bad one to talk to. Here, give me a second. It's coming Facebook, Kelly. Let me grab another browser. Uh-oh. Love you, Joanne. Sorry, that sucks. All right. Start getting some guests on here. Let me see. Let's see, Kelly. All right, I sent you an invite. Where's my Duke? All right. Well, whatever. I'll start out. I'll start without him. All right, we're gonna go 106. So our 106 from Indiana, from Northeast Indiana, uh, is Joey Warner, Carol Great. We got Giuliano Ocampo. We all know about her. She's incredible. Um, let me see here. Reed Wicker. We've competed against him quite a bit in the offseason with some of our kids from the fort, and I see him at all the tournaments. And we got Ramon Sierra of Garrett. All tough wrestlers. They got the work cut out for them, though. 106 is a stupid hard weight class at state. Um, I feel personally it's a little bit unusually hard compared to what it's been in the past. 106 is always a good one for freshmen to come in. They've been competing a long time, but this year it seems extremely tough. It's I'm not sure what the deal is, if Indiana is just getting better or what, but it's just stacked from bottom to top. But I think our chances coming out of Fort Wayne are really good. I think Joey Warner's got a great draw. I think Gianna can beat anyone on any given day. She's really dangerous. She's a great wrestler. She's fun to watch. She gets after it. She's never out of a match at any given time. She can hit something. Give me 1 second. The Duke is dialing in. See if I can't get him to jump over. Hold on here a second, Duke. All right, talk. See if I can hear you.
Testing
Still
1 2
muted.
1 2.
Hello, Duke.
Yep,
I can't hear you, Duke.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Any luck?
All right, hold on. We're getting a little echo here. Hello.
Testing, testing. The people are saying they can hear me.
Give me a second here on the audio. I'm getting feedback from you talking.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in if you're in.
Duke, go ahead and talk, buddy.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, good deal.
Things winding down to Fort. We live now? We're going? Or not yet?
Yep, I can hear you.
Well, I can hear you. Are we rolling? Let's kick this. Let's get this thing going. I'm already gonna have trouble sleeping tonight.
We got a whole bunch of loops going on. Hold on one second. Amateurs. That's the problem. All right, give me one more second. I'm gonna change the microphone real quick. All right, Duke, let's give this a shot. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Looking good. Sounding good. Looking good.
Duke, are you hearing the repeat?
No, no repeat. Everything on my end sounds really good.
All right, so I'm the only one hearing the repeat.
That appears to be the case.
Oh my gosh. Talk to me again.
Down block outside single. Ready go. You know, some people call that a head inside single. We'll have to see what they say in the comments if that's a outside single or head inside single.
All right, give me one second here. It just keeps repeating on my side. Like you guys aren't hearing it, but it just keeps going back and forth.
Down block outside single. Ready go. Oh, we better clean stuff up real quick. Sam Reason's watching, is what I'm hearing.
All right. I think we're good. Give me a second here. All right, Duke, you ready?
No, I'm ready. I'm built for this.
Built for this. All right. Start going down 106.
Well, I think 106 you got to start off right away, like with probably what most people are going to be paying attention to, right? Uh, if we're talking Fort Wayne wrestlers, I mean, we'll start there, right? Obviously, Ocampo has a tough one right out of the gate. I think a lot of people, are I mean, kind of depends on how you look at it. That's a tough one. I think a lot of people think she's got her work cut out for her, but she's been there before. So I mean, I kind of like her in that match. Joey Warner's in the quarter bracket right below that. Certainly, we saw Portage earlier in the year, so we know what they bring to the table. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be physical. He's going to have to get after it. But if there was ever such thing as a solid draw in the wrestling state finals, that would probably be one of them. Ramon has Crown Point. That'd be the fourth place finisher from Fort Wayne. So I mean, again, another one where I don't know if they hit it Al Smith or not, but that'll be one where he'll have to pack a lunch there. But it's the state finals, right? We've all seen a lot of crazy. If you've been going to that one long enough, there's a lot of crazy things that happen. So, and then Wicker has Hanover Central kid first round. Wicker, I thought at semi-state looked like really, really good. I was really impressed with the way he wrestled. Saw him earlier in the year, and I mean, obviously he still looked good. They had him firing. Delta as a whole, right, was firing on Saturday. So kudos to them. But I mean, this is going to be. I always enjoy personally watching the lightweights. This one's going to be great all the way across the board as far as the four that come from the Evansville semi-state, and then you throw Maddox in there. It seems like kind of coaching on the youth scene here the last 4 or 5 years. These dudes are at everything.
Yeah, Wicker for sure. Unfortunately for us, right? Like he had to wrestle.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
we know firsthand.
he came out on fire, man. Like he came out. I was very very impressed with how hard he came out. Like he was getting after it. He took it to us, and then who do you have in the ticket round?
I don't remember who he had in the ticket round off the top of my head, but he took it to them as well. I mean, he came out getting after it.
Yeah, then he took it to. I think he scored a lot of points on Juliana to begin with, and then Juliana started to come back. Um,
Yeah, she started climbing back in that. I feel like the second half of the match was a little bit different than obviously the first part of it. She came out on a heater in the about halfway through the second period. But by that point, I mean, I think he had scored some near fall at that point. It was a tough one there, but I mean, it's semi-state. You're going to run into someone tough. Kelly, what's up, man?
yeah, he said Waldron.
No, I'm
Like
trying
that
to
makes
trying
sense.
to trying to find who Wicker wrestled at in the ticket round.
Yeah, it was Waldron. Watkins just jumped
Lakeland,
on.
Remy Waldron.
Yeah, Remy's one of the. He hasn't been here for a little bit, but he was a big time Fort kid for a while. Um, Kevin Watkins trained.
Yeah, I don't ever just have like the Fort Wayne stuff like dialed in on my phone because I forget that Fort Wayne even has a semi-state. So
If you guys don't know Matt
Listen, man.
Kelly, he's a good dude. Unfortunately, he coached for Beach Grove for a while. Now he's at Ron
no,
College.
I didn't coach at Beach Grove.
Yes, you did.
No, it was at Center Grove.
Center Grove. My fault. My fault.
Yeah, come on, come on.
A
My
little bit
fault.
of a difference, but hey, I remember a time where Beach Grove wasn't very fun when you wrestled someone from Beach Grove.
Yeah, thankfully I was like 4 years old when that happened. So
Yeah, that was a while ago. I was a young guy when that was going on. That's going to be. I mean, it's certainly things happen, but you look at the top 5, 6 wrestlers in that weight class. Obviously, the big four coming out of the South. Were you at semi-state last weekend?
I was at Newcastle.
Newcastle. All right. So
Yeah,
so you've got the I mean all the wrestlers are really really talented. Certainly I don't ever want to sound like I'm
I mean
slighting anybody at any point, but
Saint Laurent and Daniel Brown Jr. Friday night.
That's stupid.
That doesn't even make sense.
I
That'll be
mean,
one where I'm gonna try to find a spot right away to be able to watch
I'm
that one. I want to get right beside
Con-
that map.
Connor Maddox, Gavin Ash.
Yeah, yeah. That certainly is no. Yeah, there's
So
probably other fours
Caleb
out there you'd rather have, right?
Caleb Morrow and Trayvon Ducking.
so far, all those wrestlers you've named, my 106 pounder this year has wrestled all of them, but I think two. Like so, he's experienced it, and we've seen it. Maddox is they're all tough, right? Like Maddox really
Yeah,
impressed.
Maddox can put together. Maddox he can put together some leg attacks real quick. He can rack.
I
He
mean,
can he can run the score up.
you're gonna lose 4 top 10 guys in on Friday night.
Yeah, I briefly was talking about before you guys jumped on. What's the deal? Like your opinions? What's the deal with 106? I mean, all these guys aren't. I mean, I don't think any of them are holdbacks, right? Like I just think that the state's getting that tough, right?
Um, I think there was a conversation at one point about Daniel Brown Jr. getting held back, and then his dad was like, "No, kind of no, screw that. Like, we're just gonna go wrestle." Um, and I
He
think a lot
could.
of people, I think a lot of people argue that he was held back, and I don't think he ever was. Um,
It's never my. I would
Trey
never. For me,
Trayvon
I'd never to
maybe.
like think about like people do what's best for their kids. If there ever was a time to do a holdback, though, it seems like 106, right? Like if you're a little smaller, or especially if I always say if you're on the younger end, right? If you're 14U still or schoolboy, I still call it schoolboy and cadet all the time. If you're a schoolboy still in
Yeah,
eighth grade, I get it, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Now, if you're a second year cadet in eighth grade, no offense to anyone out there, right? Maybe at that point we might want to look into
if you're
some
95 pounds,
somebody
we might want to look into getting
somebody
enrolled in some freshman classes, but that's neither here nor there, right? We're talking about the state finals.
somebody had a whole conversation about like, well, if you get held back, then you should lose a year of eligibility in high school. I said, okay, so I held my first grader back last year. So should my first grader have to lose a year of eligibility when he gets to high school because I held him back in the first grade
Right.
that's
because he was going
unfair.
to? I mean, I mean, I'm sure Andy would probably protest it unless he went to Homestead.
Maybe no one goes to Homestead though.
No, I think whatever rule they have in place now, as far as talking about being a certain age by whatever it is, the end of the tournament or whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, like
It's worked. It's worked out this long.
all these people cry about it, and it's like they're not breaking any rules. Like nobody's breaking a rule. If you have a problem, don't talk to the don't take it out on the parents and say, well, these parents are terrible for holding their kids back. Why don't you go talk to the IHSAA and say, why is the age 20? Like, don't get mad
Right.
because these parents are taking advantage of a rule that can work in their kids' favor. Like, I'll do whatever I can to make something work in my kid's favor. I don't care if I mean I was looking at the calendar and like my wife's son, he had to get held back for like academic reasons and now he's going to graduate at 19, but I'm looking at it, I'm going, we could hold him back one more time. He won't turn 20 until after the state tournament.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Like
All right, let's
April,
jump
he got an April.
let's jump back on top of it. What I really want to do is, and Kelly, you can't be jumping on here too much in bashing. I really want to highlight the Fort Wayne kids, what we got going on, right? Like, I'm sorry, man.
Fort Wayne, I'll give it to you. Fort Wayne's kind of tough this year.
Yeah, we're working on
They've
it.
they've
That's the
got some
thing.
they've got some weights.
Yeah, we're working on it. And what I want to highlight from the beginning is Joey Warner. He's a like just to give a backstory. He's farmers, super great kid. Goes to Carroll. It has been before the fort even opened up. There's a small group of kids that were already training at a bunch of different places. Once the fort opened up, they kind of found their home. And Joey's been in here since we opened. Always putting the hard work in. He's taking his lumps, right? Like but he's out there and he grinds. He's really tough on top. He'll go after it. He can scramble. He'll get in positions. And just a good little wrestler. And I'm excited that he was able to punch his ticket this year and punch his ticket in a good fashion. Right, he's got a good draw Friday night. I think one that's highly winnable for him. Probably one of the better draws that he could have got out of that stacked 106 weight class. So there's a chance that a little,
I think it might be the best draw.
yeah,
Like,
it's quite
I
possible.
mean,
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's probably the
yeah,
best
he's
draw he
that's
was
a
gonna get.
so after this is kind of a testament as to what, and we talk about this all the time as coaches, what a high school room, 2, 3, 4 months in a high school room can do for a kid. After IPO, he was hurting, right? He'd
yeah,
probably tell you the same thing. He was down bad, man. He was hurting. I think his confidence and his pride was hurting. It's a big jump. You're not used to wrestling some of those older kids like that, and but you stick to it, right? Keep chopping wood, and good things will happen. So good for him, man. We will certainly be rooting for him.
I'm
He's
gonna show
he's
a little
he's
Joey highlight.
fortified, man.
I'm gonna show a little Joey highlight here. This is his ticket round match against Angola, and that kid's tough too, right? Carter Shigag. Hopefully, I said his name right. I mean, look at that. I mean, watch that again. He nailed that Rhea
Yeah,
test.
Joe's tough.
I mean, I've got Fort Wayne taking 3 out at 106 on
Uh,
Friday.
I hope so. Nails that little, tries that little slide by, doesn't get it, goes back to the other side, spin around, gets his takedown, right? And from there, I wouldn't want to be underneath Joey. I mean, he can wrestle. He can
Nah,
wrestle.
he's one of the ones probably that's taking advantage of your Latour camps. I would say he could
Yeah,
probably run one.
yeah, correct. He's been to quite a few of them, right? Like
Yeah, he
we
could
don't want to
probably
give away
truck.
too much during these things, but he's tough, right? As far as that goes. And then another one that we got going on at 106 is Ramon Sierra, right? He was very undersized freshman. Is he a sophomore this year? Yeah, junior. He was undersized freshman and sophomore. I think this year he's finally come around to size where it actually makes sense. He might still not be cutting weight. I'm not sure. But he's a tough little kid, man. Like he went to
Dude, he
Fargo.
put in the work too. I think
Yeah,
he got a couple dubs out of at least one, maybe two dubs out of Fargo too. I think.
yeah, yeah. I was right there with him. I
Yep.
got to
And
watch.
personally, I don't think his draw's that bad
No, no,
with Westfall. Um, that's a kid I think he matches up with pretty well. I don't know if they wrestled. Did they wrestle at the Al Smith?
That I don't know, but I think don't hold me to it. I believe Westfall was in the third, fourth place match, and I think Ramon wrestled for 7th and 8th. So they could have hit maybe.
yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
if he did or not. I got a little highlight of Ramon too. Like I tried to go through and grab some highlights of each one of these wrestlers that we know and give them a little bit of a some screen time. This Ramon just kind of dogging a single leg out. Let's watch that again. Kind of almost like a little snatch single, drive it in, just driving him over. Being a dog, being a Garrett dog, right? That's what they do.
Yeah, they'll do that. They'll get tough.
Yeah. So
I
hope
mean, being in the room up there too. I mean, Garrett's. I mean, it's not like they don't know like success in that room. Like their coaches know what it takes to put somebody through on a Friday night. Um, like he's gonna be ready to wrestle tomorrow.
for sure, for sure. All right, let's jump to 113.
Another good one. You've got man a deep weight class.
Yeah, we got Bakari, we got Charlie Fleshman,
Yeah,
right? He's having a good season, 41-4. He was returning state qualifier in the offseason. He lives in the fort. He's probably not a big 13-pounder, if we're going to be honest. He's got a tough draw, obviously. That's what happens when you get fourth with Case Bell. But
Who's
Charlie,
Case Bell?
yeah, that he's a dude, right? Um, But to highlight Charlie, like he's in here all summer long, and he's one of those kids that I use as and when I'm showing technique. Hey, Charlie, show this. I'll show it once. I'll show it on Charlie, and then he's the guy that I know that's gonna hit it perfectly. So he's just one of those kids that works hard, grinds, and isn't coming in there with a huge. Not saying he's weak, but I'm just saying that For a 13 pounder, he's probably, most 6 pounders probably cut down from the size that he is. So he's done quite well. And if you watch his matches and scramble situations, he usually ends up winning them because of the mat presence. And his dad's a good coach. Chuck's been around for a
Yeah,
long
he
time.
spent a lot of
Hall of
time in
Fame.
the room in the off season. He was there. I mean, Mondays, Thursdays, he was there.
Yep. And they got Bakari Cooper from New Haven. Dude, what can I
That's a tough draw.
Yeah,
I think, I mean, for it being a 21 and an 8, I think that's going to be a much better match. I think it's more of a toss up match than a lot of people think it's going to be.
so have you watched?
Yeah, Cooper's tough. If you haven't seen him, you just don't know. But
Uh, I
you
We
haven't
can
we
see
watched.
we
him up
wrestled.
close. He's tough. He's
I
huge.
I watched at Team State. Him and
Oh yeah,
Shetley
yeah,
wrestled.
sure. Yep.
Um, and I mean Shetley is Peyton Shetley and beat him
Peyton
up a little
Shelley,
bit,
Shelley.
But
but I mean,
how's Eli?
like why?
I haven't seen him.
Um, he's your average size 13 pounder. He's pretty good. Um, he grew up in the Brownsburg room.
That's what I thought.
Um,
Okay, I didn't want to ask. All right,
yeah,
now
yep.
that's okay.
He's a
Yeah, I
Browns.
know.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, no,
he was a Brownsburg kid. Um, I think just one of those kids that was gonna be a backup, but he is honestly a starting 13 pounder at 90% of the schools in the state of Indiana.
yeah, clearly,
So it's like why stay and try? I mean, Tri West is right down the road.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
Bakari's super fast and he's super strong, right? Like
yeah,
our Drew wrestled him a few times. Started putting him on ropes, but as soon as we got out of position or tried to force something on, and not get like we paid for it. And
No,
I think he
he's
wrestled 26 last year. He did wrestle 26 last year, right? Like
yep.
because he didn't fit in the lineup at 13 and 20, so he wrestled 26. Um, and so this year he's at 13 and obviously having a great season. You can't sleep on him, that's for sure.
It
yeah,
felt like he kind of almost walked away with semi-state a little bit. Like I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think his ticket round match might have been a little close. Like, and who knows? It's the ticket round, right? It probably takes a little while to start flowing and get loose. It's can be certainly be nerve wracking, but it seems like after that he kind of just ran through. Like his once he qualified, he did the opposite of what some kids do. Some kids kind of cash it in. He picked it up.
yeah.
He was getting after it in the semis and in the finals. And I mean, I think he took out. He took out Fleshman in the semis, and then had Cade Jackson, who's a gamer, beat Rex Moore the match before in the semis, and then so I mean Cooper he put it to Cade Jackson. I mean,
Yeah, that's who we're talking about
if he
next.
kind
K
of
Jackson
dominated
is
that match, and Cade Jackson's tough.
yeah, he's no joke. I think he was on our Virginia team a couple years ago as an eighth grader in a middle school. Has a sweet elbow pass. Back then, I don't know if he's still using it, but it was an elbow pass to kind of almost like an ankle grab pick, come around to the side. It was just slick. And I was like, man, he's really good at that as a middle schooler. And obviously Delta's doing well, and they have a bunch of good kids, so that
That
room's not gonna
that's
hurt.
an that's another good match. Obviously, Shetley kind of headlines that quarter bracket, but then you go to Jude Heaston and Kay Jackson, and that's a dogfight there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. I mean, again, I mean, 12
It
and
seemed
15. Um, I mean, Jude's not a slouch. I mean, 20 and 5. Um, doesn't wrestle a, I mean, doesn't wrestle a super easy schedule. I mean, he wrestles, the Johnson County tournament. You got to wrestle Franklin. You got to wrestle Center Grove. Um, Whiteland's starting to get a lot tougher on this side. I mean,
yeah.
at,
Well, not just that. Like I mean, he Indian Creek. Their coaches are literally at everything, man. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
on the girls scene obviously phenomenal, but the boys scene as well. Like those dudes are literally everywhere, man. They're little kids that they have coming up. I mean, it seems like every year in the whether I don't know if it's the small school or medium school division at elementary duels, they're right there with Delta or Garrett or whoever it is. Like
I
it
th-
seems like it's
I
been
think
those three teams for.
there was one year they put a team in small school and large school.
Yeah, there you go.
so two.
There you go.
Yeah, they took two elementary dual teams. They needed to fill a large team spot, and Indian Creek said, "Yeah, we'll take it."
Yeah,
And I
they're
think they
legit.
did pretty well.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right, so we got Rex Moore. I'll tell you what. Um, he's been on quite a few of our teams. He went to Fargo Greco. He beat our kid out right in the ticket round, and he can roll, right? You better finish your stuff
Yeah,
with.
Rex is
He's
tough.
got hips, man. He's got hips for days, and you can be in deep. You can think you have him, and he's going to go through it, right? I think Hunter Douglas, our 32-pounder, I think he handed him one of his losses his freshman year, maybe two of his losses, like. And his dad knows coaching. His dad's in it, so he's another one of those tough ones that I think don't underestimate him, right? Like that's like I think he can go. I mean, I see my guys are the guys that are around here. I'm high
And
on Rex
and
Moore.
he was a state qualifier last year too, right?
Yep, 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 yep.
So I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah, he's
there's
tough,
a
man.
lot to be said about a kid who is wrestling on Friday night, who's been there before. Um, you know that
Yeah,
the it's the stadium doesn't get to him. You know that like he's gonna show up Friday night ready to go.
yep, yep. You know what? Let me jump back here real quick. I got a little Charlie Fleshman video, and then I got a Rex Moore video that we can kind of review a little bit. Charlie being stingy here, right? And then kind of just a little reattack there, right? Like the guy's in on his leg. He doesn't give it up. Um, has a decent little setup on Charlie. Gets to it, but Charlie digs the wizard in. Doesn't quite give it to him. Stays hard on it, and then as he comes up, he just goes right back at him. Right, reattack, pressures in. That's just tough wrestling. It's awesome to see. So there's Charlie for you, and then let's throw a little highlight of the Rexter. Where did I put that? The Rex Moore. Here we go. And there's another one. I think it's kind of similar when I was going through. Like they're both stingy, right? This guy's in on a leg, super deep, but he's still got a little bit of that arm, a little bit of that whizzer. Comes back out, hits a drag, goes behind. Right, makes that guy pay for a shot. And that's Rex Moore to a T. And also he's got hips. Like he can be in deep, he can flip you over real quick, and he's in good position. So he's another one of those kids that are exciting to watch. So all right, 113. Those are like I said, we're gonna kind of gloss our guys as we go over it. Yeah, we can talk about the other studs, but I think they're pretty much covered a lot of times when you're listening to the other shows, which I understand, right? Like but I want to kind of focus on the ones that we see and that we know, right? And there's a few from other semi-states that we get to see and they come in here from time to time, right? So 120. We have at the top of the bracket, Revin Dickman. Everyone knows him. He's going to do his thing. Then we have Aiden Bollinger coming out of our semi-state. Aiden's obviously phenomenal. He's part of that Delta crew, that Fab Five. Right now, it was a Fab Six. With Boyd
I don't
being
know what it was, but I don't know what it was, but they're good.
yeah, yeah. Um, yes, they
And
are.
there's really not an end to it. It's
No, they got some
They
dudes
got
that can
Carver
like
coming next year. That's going to add to it, and I think a lot of them are young, right? Like what do we? Bollinger is a
like
senior.
probably sixth or seventh graders. They got some other cats that have a lot of our Fort kids have wrestled. I mean, over the last couple of years, like I mean, I don't know what grade like Jaggers and Pepito and a couple others are in that Wyatt have wrestled, but they've some of our better kids have had some bangers with those kids at ISWA states and freestyle states and stuff like that. So they're good.
yeah,
And I mean they it's certainly from the outside looking in seems like they do things the right way. Like their coaches at everything. He's hard on them. It looks like so they got a good thing. They got a good thing rolling there.
Yes, they'll be competitive in team state and semi-state for quite a while. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Rocha, am I saying it right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, man.
dude,
He's having a good year.
dude, he's tough. tough. He's
He's
gritty.
good.
He's
He's
mean.
gritty,
Yeah,
chippy, all the
chippy.
above.
That
Yeah.
that Caden Underwood kid he's wrestling at he's wrestling Friday night is at semi. I've seen him wrestle a few times this year, and for some reason at semi-state he was like a different dude. Like that's that. It was a different dude than what wrestled the rest of the season. Like he looked really, really good. Um,
Polished.
yeah, like he was just ready to go. He looks like he's wrestling with. I mean, just he's actually wrestling. Like I have nothing to lose. Like what's the worst that's gonna happen? Um, and
Those
I mean,
he's like
that's the
he's
time to do it, right? Like your freshman and sophomore year, that's the time to do it.
yeah.
His
And so
sophomore.
yeah, that's a so I mean that's another match where you look at it on paper and you're like, yeah, for sure. Like Roach is the guy, you know. And I think I
Yeah.
took him in my picks. I think I took Rocha in my picks, but like
Yeah.
it
I
wouldn't
mean,
shock
Ellen's got
me to
history, and
see like an
they're gonna come
overtime
out and
match
get
on that.
after it for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I bet it's a high scoring match too. Um,
And then
you're
John's in the next quarter bracket. He pulled an upset. I mean, I won't. I mean, to me, it certainly seemed like an upset. He probably would tell you that it wasn't, but he rode Bollinger out the entire third period and won 1-0 in our semi-state finals the other day. And I mean, dude, he's, I don't
John's
want
a
to give
pretty
away too much of
qualifier
his
too,
stuff, but
right?
he's tough. He's tough, man.
I
John's is
think
tough,
this
and
is
he's
the
been there. I
third
think
time he's
John's a four-time
qualified
qualifier, maybe.
Yeah, right here.
for
Yep.
yeah.
113, 22. Yep, 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 yep. And it's a, we talk about that area. I wrestled John's. I think it was his uncle or something back in the day. So, I mean, a lot of that's culture, tradition, coming from a family. He's super tough. And I mean, he's just another one of those ones you watch and he's got the mat time. Um, because they can roll. You see the situations come up and he's able to roll through those situations.
Yeah, I think we might need a Brody Hardcastle fact check on this, but one of his losses might be to the Alexandria kid, so that'll be an interesting first round match.
Yeah.
That kid seems like he's been around for the Newcastle semi-state for some time.
Well,
I
he
mean,
had an older brother too.
okay, there we go, there we go.
Yeah, there was a which one's this one? Is this one Ezra or Isaiah?
Ezra.
Ezra. I think he's got an older brother named Isaiah.
Okay.
I think his brother wrestled for me on one of my teams. Um, when they had that tournament up in Noblesville a
That
couple of
makes
years ago.
sense now. Now we're talking.
His brother was pretty tough. I think I remember putting his brother on like the B team, and then I was going through watching the teams, and
Oops.
I went, "Damn!"
Yeah.
Like, like I missed this one.
Yeah. So people know Kelly used to run like the teams that used to put together a lot. What was it again?
The Indiana High Rollers.
Yep, the high rollers, baby.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep, that
Yeah,
those.
my son's still got a singlet. He's got a little baby one he wears around. Everyone's like, "That's so cool," and I'm like, "Man, I wish my kid was a better wrestler."
Hey,
To wear a
hey,
wear
hey,
a singlet that cool.
hey. He will be.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process. It takes a while.
No, yeah,
No, trust me.
God,
Yeah, trust me. My son's starting to come around. It's taking his sophomore, junior year. He'll be fine. Just make sure he keeps loving it. All right, Caleb Asa. Caleb Asa against Blake Getz and whoo-wee. So you probably can talk to Getz about Getz, right? I could talk about Asa all day long because Asa is a Fort Kid True Blue. Been here for the last couple of years. His dad helps me out with a lot of stuff. He actually does my posters, a lot of my flyers,
look,
and all that stuff. And Asa's just a solid kid, right? Freshman. Obviously, Getz
don't
phenomenal.
don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if Blake Getz wins the state championship.
I wouldn't be shocked. Don't be
Um,
shocked if Caleb Asa doesn't give him fits. Just saying.
like
Yeah, we
we're
saw we saw Ron Collie earlier. We saw Ron Collie
We did
earlier in the
not
year,
see
man.
Ron Kiley at the ideal time of our life. It was like
Nah, it was like at the
after
wrong
it
place.
was a fifth
It's
duel
like
after grinding like
look after watching them at team state and watching them at the regional and the semi-state. You might have caught Ron Collie at the best possible time that you were going to catch Ron Collie. Um, I mean,
They were impressive.
Blake Getz is such a good kid. Like he's pretty quiet. He's kind of funny. He's a little goofy, but does all the right things. Like works really hard. Um, he's one of those kids that, I mean, since his freshman year, I don't care if you're beating this kid down 10-0 and he's down 10-0.
He's going to come back and
If
fight.
you give him a shot on his feet, he's not gonna stop coming after you. And he is a
Yeah.
problem on top. If anybody's watching, any of the Garrett people are watching this, I'm just gonna say, like, don't choose bottom.
We'll make
Uh,
sure they know. All right, let's
he's
throw
the
a Caleb
problem.
Asa highlight here. Caleb Asa, I think I remember this one. This is a little bit of a re-attack here. I think this guy shoots in. Caleb Asa stuffs it, tries to go behind. Boom, hits the other direction. Sweet, right? That's the stuff we drill. Let's watch that again. That's money, right? Like, um,
Yeah, they do say, I've heard people say Ace's coaches are solid, above
they are
average.
solid. Yeah, they are solid, right? Like, so like, whoop, stops it, gets a little off his head hands, he gets underneath it, but gets the whizzer in there, but reshoots, gets underneath, gets the other side. He's always been. Here's the thing I'll say about Asa, and I've helped coach him at a lot of off-season tournaments where kids walk out on the mat with him, and they look huge, right? Asa looks a little unassuming sometimes, but positionally, like I've seen him beat the tar out of some kids where I'm like, ooh, how'd that happen? And it's just because he positionally gets it. He's wrestled enough. He understands wrestling. He's a very solid wrestler. Obviously, he's a freshman. So if Getz is able to get him Friday night, good for him. But I can guarantee you this: he's going to be top 8 before it's all said and done. Hopefully, top 4. Ideally, on the top of the podium. He's in the right place with Garrett, and he's in the right place with how he's training and what he's doing, the opportunities he has. So, um, excellent stuff for him to be able to qualify as a freshman in general.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. In a solid weight class, right? 120 wasn't.
yeah.
Yep,
120. It's a
No doubt.
yep, yep. All right, 126.
126 when I was. I'm just going to be honest and transparent right here. When I was looking at our semi-state brackets, I was like, I think
I'm
there's
gonna
four
grab
or
it.
five kids that can win this weight class, and I actually was wrong. There was one kid that was going to win the weight class, and he showed up, and he is physical, and I mean, he gets after it, and he is from M Town, baby, straight out of Marion, Hickson Love.
Hickson Love. He's gonna win the whole thing, huh?
No, well, I wouldn't go that far, but man, he showed up at
Oh, okay.
semi-state and he was ripping
Yeah,
cradles and he was bullying people. Man, he's
Yeah, he
got a
was.
tough one right out of the gate. Like that's a rough draw from a. That is a rough draw. You know, as a
yeah.
you feel like you should get a
Fort
reward for
Wayne.
winning. You feel like you should get a reward for winning semi-state. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not. I mean,
But you know
that's a tough
what?
one,
If
but
you're
I
the
wouldn't by no means would I. This kid's going to. He's only a sophomore, right? And his only loss on the year, I believe, was to Harris from New Haven, and he got that one back the other day. I mean, he came out and got after it. So, obviously. That's my alumni, so rooting real hard for the young giant, but only a sophomore, right? So he's going to,
yeah.
regardless of what happens this weekend, he'll be back. But man, he's tough, and I remember he came up to I think it was Andrew Howe camp when we had the freestyle prep camp with Howe, and I was like, "Do
Oh,
you wear
that
a
was
Marion
him.
shirt?" And
Uh,
talked to him, yeah, and
yeah.
he was
All right. Yeah.
he was just kind of getting into it. I mean, he was in 8th grade, and I think he had wrestled some, but didn't know any freestyle, anything. And like an hour later, he's just nailing single legs, transitioning right to a lace and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this kid can roll. So yeah, that'll be
This
a tough
is
one. But the Ashes also, I mean, like they've been around. They're
Yeah, they've
they're
been around.
dudes, right?
forever.
Like that
Yeah.
that one's gonna be tough. But we're rooting for the Giant for sure, man. He's going to
I
he'll come
just
out and compete. I can tell you that.
I feel bad for the Fort Wayne semi-state in this weight class because
I
the
agree. 26
semi-state
is tough.
gods
Yeah,
the
it's
semi-state gods were like, look, sorry, Fort Wayne, we're just gonna go ahead and give you Evansville. Um,
Yeah, that's rough.
and at
But
126 is the worst weight to get in it. I mean, other than 106, 126 another one is just so bad to get it at. I mean, you're a you're a one. You don't want to draw the Evansville four. Um,
Hey,
it's
Duke, you
just a
want to,
hard draw.
dude? Evansville's, yeah, correct at 26 and 106. And
Yeah,
probably some others, but those are the two that stick out to me. Hey, if you want to throw
yeah.
Hardcats on here, you can. We can throw another screen up here. I'm good with
can
that.
we get him on here?
Yeah, send him the same link that you got.
Let me shoot him a
Um,
text and see what he's doing.
yeah. He's jib jabbing in the background. Yeah, Var. I know we're talking about our guys, but the Vargo Chase Yant, like that's no joke. That's
No, yeah, that's
like
that's
like
rough.
correct. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here in Indiana? Sometimes when I
I
look at
mean,
these like first round draws,
Brody Maldonado's no easy match.
no, no, no. And Cameron Baker, did
Both
Baker
of
get?
those are guys that have been around.
Yeah, Cameron Baker, like, he's had a good run. Like, hopefully, he can give Nathan Ruax a a match. But man, I mean,
It's
that's
Rio, right? Can we get that
Rio.
real quick? I've always it's
Rio,
gotta be Rio.
yeah,
It's Rio, correct?
like it's
I
like Rio
apologize.
de Janeiro.
All right,
All right.
Rio de Janeiro.
I
All
mean,
right,
the brothers have been in the finals for 17 years straight now. We gotta know that.
Yeah, actually,
And there's yeah. How many more are there?
Nathan Rio is defending the 126-pound weight class for his brother Luke Rio, who won it last year.
Yep, yep. I remember that now.
And then there is, I think, one more. No, there are two more brothers. There is Sammy and there is Miles. And Miles is an 8U kid.
that's
Yeah, I think so. Sammy's a middle schooler, probably like sixth, seventh, somewhere
Yeah.
in there.
Yep.
Yeah, some of our Fort kids. I want to say Henry Reason, Sam's boy, had a good scrap with him. There were some 5 point moves, feet to back thrown. It was in a folk style match. Quick. It was they got after it last year in like the I don't know maybe third and fourth of middle school state or something. Who knows? But yeah, he's
Yeah.
good.
all right. What else we got here as far as our Fort Wayne guys coming in here? I don't
Well, we got
know.
Cam Baker wrestling real tough. He finished fourth. Sean Harris got that one back from him. Baker won the regional, and then Harris got him back for third and fourth. So we got Baker. He's got Rio. Obviously, we know what happens sometimes when you're a 4 seed going in, but you still got to go wrestle. And again, Garrett will have their dudes ready to come out and get after it. They're well coached. They're gonna be physical. They're going to come out and compete, no doubt.
Yeah, they're gonna throw stuff. So
And I don't hate Sean Harris's draw. Um, pulling
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
I think if it was me, that's the guy I want. I mean, don't get me wrong, Don Brown's great,
Oh yeah.
but he's not one of those guys that goes out and scores 20 points.
Nah, he holds
Uh,
position. I've watched him the last couple of years at Al Smith and stuff though. Man, he holds position super well.
Holds position really well, but again, he doesn't score a ton of points, which almost kind of works for you because if you can keep it a 2 point match into the third period and you just got to sneak one takedown. You
No
just got
doubt.
to pull off
No doubt.
one good takedown. So that's a draw that if I'm Sean Harris, I'm looking at it going, thank God I got third.
Yeah, I'll tell
Yeah,
you what,
Harris is wrestling tough this year, man.
dude. He's wrestling
Yeah,
tough the
Harris is
last couple of years. I
I
think he's
mean,
got like a total of what, 6 losses or something. Like
who's
he's
that?
yeah,
Harris. Like he's um
Maybe not that many.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. He hasn't had very many.
44-3.
Yeah, and last year he only had a couple. Right, like he's stingy.
Yeah.
He can roll. Like he can hold position. I've said it all along. I think he's kind of an underestimated kid. I do think sometimes if you're listening to Harris, you need to let it fly more. Right, you let it fly and like start hitting your stuff. You start getting to that point in your career, you're really going to be dangerous.
yeah.
Kid can wrestle. His younger brother can wrestle. His sister can wrestle. His dad,
Yeah.
yeah. his dad's been in part of the youth circuit for a long time, and they've put the work in. We've seen them, so who knows what can happen there. I got a highlight of him actually. Let's see. This is he's wrestling Myers, good old Myers, and he beats Myers. That doesn't hurt my no offense, Myers, but it doesn't hurt me to um, see. I'm not even gonna say it. I don't want to be that guy. Like I feel bad for anyone that loses at semi-state. Myers had to beat me twice at semi-state, so he feels bad about it.
That kid will be. I've
Dude,
watched
that kid's
Myers.
gonna do
I've seen
just
him the
fine.
last handful of years at middle school state. He'll be back.
He'll be just fine. But
Yeah, he's gonna. Yeah,
but
that's
he's
probably
super.
the last
Look
year he
look
misses.
at
I
him.
want to say he's a
Like
dog.
he was super stingy in this whole. Like I know it's a little bit long, but go back and watch it. Like
Look how deep Myers gets
correct,
in, and
correct.
Harris fights it off, and then he gets in deep again, and it looks like Harrison's gonna go, and he's like, no, not this
No,
time.
nope. Yeah, I'm gonna step over. I'm gonna hook it. I'm gonna give you a little bit of hips here. Don't love the arm position there, but he gets away with it, right? But then he's fighting the grip here, trying to slide back. Doing a good job of.
Maybe he'll come to
Oh.
the fort if I come up there and run a sprawl clinic.
He does come to the fort. Um, but yeah, I talk to him all the time. He like it's not all the time. He's more of a warrior kid, which is just fine. But he's a mat rat, so he's around all the
Goes
time.
everywhere.
Yep,
Goes everywhere.
yep. Let me see. Duplicate this. Let me pull. All right, this, and then we're gonna pull Hardcastle into the combo. Let's bring this to the front. Front. Got Dookie twice. We don't need him.
Dookie, that's not nice.
There we go. There's the Hardcastle. How we doing, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Brody, what's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just watching your guys' predictions here.
Well, they're not predictions. We're not predicting anything. We're just trying to highlight wrestlers in a positive light.
Gotcha. I can do that.
Yeah, because the Fort Wayne, we're nothing but dog doo doo. You know, like we're not very good. We don't even know what the sport of wrestling is. We're really just trying to keep up with the rest of them, and they're
We're trying to.
Fort
That's
Wayne
We're
it.
just
working really
started
hard on
wrestling like a couple
developing
years ago,
wrestlers.
right?
all right. So right now, hey, do you know? I don't know. Like, I want to give him some love. He's obviously got a good record. What about North Miami? Jordan, how do you say his last name?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, Brody can tell you probably a little bit about correct. I mean, he's
Yeah, man.
tough.
He's funky. He's a guy that's going to ruin. Nah, he's not scared to roll across his own back to try to score some points. I know that kind of hurt him against Love, but it's obviously with his record, it's been helping him this year, man. I know in the regional semis, he was down like 11-2. uh, like midway through the second, going into third, just turns it on, man, and just catches a scramble, gets back in the match like 11-9, and ends up getting the fall. So he's definitely a guy that you can't cat out. And I know he wrestled a Tishner from Western a couple years, and they wrestled some tight matches.
Right
Yeah,
on.
Peru Regional showed out a little bit in the finals of the semi-state. A little Peru versus Peru action.
That's pretty rare, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
All
Well,
right.
it kind of goes in waves real quick, though. I'll say it goes in waves. I know we don't have a ton of time, but like there for a while, Peru, when Oak Hill and Western, and then Rochester was in there, Peru was nasty.
It was fun, man. That was just
Yeah,
you knew that you were
yeah. I
going to get a
miss
good match.
Rochester a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
What's that?
I miss Rochester. I mean, it added to the depth, right? Like that could have.
Oh, for sure.
Be careful
I
what
mean,
you
just
wish
look
for,
now.
sure,
You
but
have
you
Beck,
want depth.
Horn.
You want some depth in the semi-state. It's fine.
Nah. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's go to what do we got? 132.
Yep.
All right. Biasly, one of my favorite weight classes. All right.
Yeah, 32 will be tough. You got
Dude,
Hazley.
32 is
He'll have his hands full with Horn first round, but Hazley's making his first trip down there. He's wrestling tough. Mosier in
Yeah,
the second
Tripp's a
quarter
tough one.
bracket, part of that Delta
Uh,
Brigade.
yeah, I think Mosier's got a really a good little path there. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see him in the semifinals.
Yeah,
Whoever he gets out of Schaefer and Bowie's gonna be a dogfight, but he's not a dude that you really count out in a match like that.
I haven't got to see. Well, I've seen him like in freestyle a handful of times, but I didn't get a chance to watch. Is the younger Schaefer similar to his brother? He's looking to put up. Be a goer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting matchup because Bowie can. I mean, dude,
Oh,
he can
scraps, man.
stifle. He can shut stuff down quick.
So that's like
And
a
and
contrast of styles there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and I don't think Bowie started wrestling until like middle school, 7th or 8th grade.
No, I think you're right.
No,
At,
yeah,
at
I remember coaching
he,
against him. He was raw, but he was
Yeah, he
athlete,
launched
right?
Loppy. He got after
Lopshire, dude.
Loppy. Yeah, he hit Loppy's feet were vertical.
Dude, but yeah, but Lopshire also clipped him a couple of times, and then one time he beat
I
Lopshire. Like
think
he
they
walked
flipped.
off the mat and like talked some smack
I
to me. Like,
think
what are you doing, man?
I think Bowie won freestyle state and Loppy won Greco state, if I remember correctly. They
I,
flopped on different days.
it might have been swapped. I can't remember what it was, but it was one. Lopshire beat him first because when Bowie beat Lopshire, he walked off and like jawed at me. And I'm like, what are you jawing at me for? I didn't like
so I think I think I think he went to middle school at Perry.
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
Red Cobra, right?
Yeah, I just remember Chad Red coaching him, and I was like, I don't know who this kid is, but he's going to be a problem.
yeah. And well, here he is.
Yeah, he's
He's a
tough,
problem.
man.
He's a pro. He's gonna be Caleb Schaefer's problem on Friday night.
Yep.
All right, so we got. We don't even need to talk about Hockaday. That dude's going to be talked about for the rest of his life.
Who's Jake Hockaday?
Yeah, who is that guy?
Yeah,
No, I'm
man.
serious. I've never heard. He's only 19-0. He hasn't really wrestled. I mean, who's he
Not too
wrestled this
much.
year?
Not too much.
I mean, he hasn't even wrestled anybody.
And he wrestled Hunter. Hunter, like, yes, he tech faulted Hunter. Matches fly out of his own, like, but you know what? Hunter like gave him some positions and wrestled him hard, and like afterwards, he's just coming off his injury. He was breathing hard. He was in the bathroom going, man, like sometimes that's all you can do is just go out and try to wrestle someone hard. He's an incredible wrestler, dude. It
Yeah,
just flat out, like,
he's tough, man.
good for him, and he seems like a good kid. I don't know much about him, but good for him.
I don't even know if they're gonna make him wrestle a match at the tournament. I think he got there last night and he's like standing on top of the podium right now. Like he's waiting for the rest of the bracket to wrestle out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So then we have, speaking of same kind of instance, we have Drew Walden, right? Like he was decal. Like how many? Is this his third qualifier or second? Drew won 20. This is his. He's qualified. This is now his. Yeah, this
At
is his
least
third time
second.
qualifying. Yeah, this is his third time
Yeah, I was gonna say
qualifying.
at least second,
Third.
right?
Yeah, local
Yeah,
kid.
he was there last year.
Yeah, my alma mater. Drew's always like, in my opinion, of I could be wrong, but I just feel like Drew's so tough nosed that he inflexible that he holds positions too long, injures himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just so flexible and fights hard that he's just had a lot of injuries, and he wasn't supposed to come back this year. The doctor said no. He started wrestling again in the practice room and doing stuff, and I'll be honest, his dad contacted me. He got a doctor that would be able to give us a second opinion, and I recommended a doctor, and that doctor was able to get him cleared. And he's able out there now. He's able to make state again. He's got a total of 13 matches, only losses in semi-state finals. So he's, who knows with him? He's a wild card, to be honest with you. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
great, that guy's ranked up in front of him, but good luck. Like, he hasn't had a chance to prove himself this year. 3-time state qualifier.
I
So
mean, and
Yeah,
again,
that'll
it's
be a
a
good one. That's a solid draw for Walden, man. He can. I mean, anytime it's a region kid, you're gonna have to come to scrap for sure. But Walden stuff, he's long. I mean, he's really tall for a 32-pounder. He's got some. He can, obviously when someone's that long, they can turn corners and create a ton of leverage.
yeah,
yeah. Drew Walden's definitely my guy in that match. And that's who I picked. I mean, a 12-9, like a lot of times once you get past like your top 5, you know, um, you don't see like a 12 when they rank a 12 and a 9. Like there's not much difference between them. Um, like it could go either way, but I just think that Walden has wrestled a lot more just outside of a wrestling season than the Westenfeld kid does. I mean, I see his name a lot everywhere all the time.
Yeah. That's probably part of the reason he's gotten injured a lot, right? Like the kid wrestled a lot. Like
He doesn't stop.
correct. So yeah, the kid's definitely got mat presence. Going down, we got Tylen Thrine, obviously. Everyone knows who he is. Super athletic football player / wrestler that gets after it, scores points. Which brings us to the next match, Hawkins and Hunter Douglas. I don't think you can get two different wrestling styles out there if you possibly could.
Oh
Hunter,
my God, no kidding.
yeah, Hunter's
Yeah,
like
you
one
can
move.
ask Nick. I called that matchup before the draws came out. I thought Douglas is getting Hawkins, man, and he's going to have to make that match like the first 10 minutes of the USA Canada hockey match. He's going to have to get after him, and I think he can.
I
Trust me,
mean,
I spent all week. I spent all week preparing him.
We
Take
did.
Hawkins into deep waters, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean Hawkins is a stud. Don't get me wrong. He sits corners real well, solid on top. But obviously, I mean, his weakness is his feet. And that's not taking anything away from him. He
No,
the dude's a state
his
placer,
his
so he
weakness
still has
his
it.
He's a
weakness
killer.
is his weakness is his gas tank.
I mean,
yeah. We got to get him to start
fair.
using the gas tank, though, right? Like, you got
You gotta you gotta
Exactly. You
you
got to
gotta
push
you
that
gotta
edge.
tell you gotta tell Hunter that he's got to go out there. He's just got to go be a Prius, right? He's got to be a Prius.
Yep.
Prius.
All right.
Be a
Well,
Prius.
yeah. With that said, I got a little Hunter highlight here of what we're looking for Hunter to do when he's worked up and ready to go. Right. If you can see me in the background going, see, that's what happens when you wrestle. Like when he opens up, he's something phenomenal to see. Right. He puts a lot of work in. Um, and when he's going, like it's hard to stop. He's got angles like no wrestler I've ever coached. He's really underestimated. People like I've seen him win some really big matches in the off season, during season when he's going, he's going. And obviously, I've seen him in the practice room for a long time. I coached him since 7th grade, and I'm all about angles and going one way, going the other way, moving. Um,
I mean, he's just so well coached.
oh, thank you, sweetie.
Credit credit to the guy that coaches him. Um, that's 100. You watch that video 100 times, and you can tell 100 times that's pure solid coaching. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, it looks like it would suck being his practice partner in the room, man. He looks like he just hand fights you to death.
Yeah, we put multiple people on him for sure. But to be honest with you, he's probably a little bit too nice of a partner. He's a good kid. All
Heisler
right,
handles it.
who?
Heisler handles it well. So does Reigns. They're fine.
Heiser Reigns. He beats up Michael. It's all
Oh, him
good.
and Katie. He's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
They're
Actually,
fine.
him and
Though we
Katie
do
partner
tag
a
team
lot.
him a
Like,
little bit.
yeah. All right. Next weight class. What we got? We're at 132. We're going 138.
38, or the J County Regional, it seems like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What do we have there? We got Og, who's really, really tough. AC kid. They're always physical. He's huge for the weight class. Like,
Yep.
it seems like maybe this is an exaggeration. It seems like he's like 6 feet tall though. Just a
Og.
just a just a big dude for
You
138.
might
Yeah,
just be really short.
maybe that's it.
Well, Nick, a
I
lot
know
of
that's
those
my
AC dudes
problem.
are tall, man.
That's
Shortigan.
that's what my
Uh,
problem is.
what's the other one? The 50-pounder Dubai.
Yeah,
They
Yeah.
all have
they
some
got
length on
yeah
them.
yeah yeah.
Hey, I like to.
That'll be a tough one though. That Switzerland County kid. I forget who he wrestled last year. at ISWA State, but I had never even heard of Switzerland County, if I'm being honest. And
Yeah, I gotta be honest with
I
you
know
too,
everyone.
dude.
I was like,
I
where's
like
Hey,
Switzerland County? And I was like, this kid's tough.
he's from like southeastern Indiana. Um, I mean, it's down there.
That's like
Just
kind of
in the
close to
middle,
Lawrenceburg, right?
It might
further
be farther
south.
south.
Further south.
Yeah,
Yeah,
further south.
it might be like east of New Albany, maybe
Yeah.
east of
Yep.
Floyd.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, so farther south, but you're
but
heading in the
that
right direction, Brody.
that kid's that's just a kid, dude. I mean, since he was in 5th or 6th grade, just wrestles a lot. Like back when all those new way tournaments and stuff were going on, you wrestled in like 5 different tournaments a weekend. It seemed like he was one of those kids, just wrestled
Right.
everywhere. And you always be like,
Yeah,
God,
that'll
who's
be
this
good.
Peyton Richards
And
kid?
then it's on the bottom half of the bracket. But Farrote and Justin, we'll just stick with that regional before we get to the other ones. But Farrote and Justice Thornton, Columbus North, we saw them earlier in the year at the pin duels, and they have some they're really solid. I think they were on the fringe of 4A. Maybe Andy, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Like maybe 10, 11, 12 ish.
who
Columbus North.
was on what?
They were kind of like on the fringe of 4A team state. I feel like they were somewhere in that on that second tier. I mean,
Yeah,
they were solid.
yeah, they were.
No, they had some good wrestlers. Him and Farrote will be good. Andy, I think it was
Bringing the Juwan in.
I think it was Farrote against Malachi. I think it was Farrote against Malachi Tholner. I was like, man, Farrote just turned it up. I was like,
Yeah, I actually have.
I think I said something along the lines of like that surprised me a little bit, and Andy was like, not me. He was like, that's Belmont. That's what they do. And he was like, he's a Farrote, and I was like, yep, all right, that's a good point. I should have known that. I've been going to the Fort Wayne semi-state for 25 years now, so that was a mistake on my part.
Yeah,
I
it
can
didn't
I
matter.
can proudly say I've never been to the Fort Wayne semi-state.
You're missing out.
You're missing out on being
You're
cold.
missing it, man. It's the best one.
It's super cold down there, man. Like,
It was way too cold down there.
It's freezing down there.
It's
It's literally impossible to get warmed up, man.
No, it is. Like, I
Can't
went
break a
hoodie.
sweat.
Like, I was trying to be
That's
all
why,
classy
that's
as I
why I
could.
love Newcastle. Newcastle, it's like
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. I mean, you could go down there in a tank top and shorts, and dude, you are just sweating.
Oh, I
Well,
remember those from middle school state days.
You'd probably fit right in Newcastle in the tank top and shorts as well.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're definitely not wrong.
yeah. Hey, since you brought it up, here's a little Farrote Malachi scramble. Like, this is stupid, right? Like, this is what happens. Like, just watch. Like, I was watching this earlier. Here, let me bring this to the front. Bring it to the front. I'm gonna restart this. All right. No yawning, Duke.
Who's
Yeah, we gotta
yawning?
get through this thing at some point. I'm old, man.
How old are you?
33, but I've lived a lot of life.
Hey,
And I mean a
watch
lot.
this. Look at him trying to step over. Like, he got the hook. Malachi's deep butt drag. Don't get deeper than that,
I was so excited for this stick around match because both of these kids are.
dude. They like right.
Yeah, that was a good one. That kind of I don't know Farrote, but man, that broke my heart just because of like, obviously we know Malachi, he's a big time Fort kid, but I didn't want to see either one of them lose, right? Like that was.
So no,
Thorner's gonna be a problem, man.
Farrote came out and got it though, man. What
yeah,
was he
dude.
up?
Farrote was up
Maybe
7-2 right there,
up
and finally
6-0
got it.
early, maybe?
But he didn't give this up. He dips underneath the leg, comes back out. I think this is like at the last moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Correct. But they're just constantly like one to the next thing, man.
Wow.
Yeah, just good stuff. Good stuff. All right.
For real, he's kind of slick. He'll lull you to sleep there. He'll be on the ankle. It'll kind of look like he's waiting for a stalemate. Then boom, he'll pop his head up out the back door there. That was nice.
Yeah, I mean they're another one like they've been to quite a few of our camps. They usually don't go to our practice at all, but they've been to quite a few of our camps, and they're at a ton of tournaments. They put the work in, right? They're pro. Like, let's see here.
I think there's a good chance there for sure. Like I mean, at least I really hope so. I mean that'll get the radio station will be super pumped. I think Og and Farouk can both be wrestling Saturday morning, no doubt.
Yeah, I would just like to
Yeah.
throw it out there that
It's
I'll
tough,
grip my
right?
shoulder
Anytime you
like
get into
that.
those Evansville qualifiers, like let's just be honest, it's going to be tough. Those are certainly matches where if you're not ready, you can be going home early. But I could see Farote and Og. I mean, two AC and Belmont. Let's just be honest, right? Like there's some tradition there. It seems like they're always ready this time of year.
And look, here's the thing: if the Fort Wayne semi-state's really going to start stepping it up like this, one of the semi-states is going to have to take a hit and really go downhill because, like, us Newcastle people need something to cross our fingers for. You know,
Yeah,
like
I feel you.
like it's starting to become a little bit of a problem that we can't just go like, give
Yeah,
me
there's not
Fort
a lot
Wayne,
of things.
give me
Yeah,
Fort
no,
Wayne,
there's
give me
not.
Fort Wayne.
But that's what we want, right? Like I know you're just joking, but as a whole, man, like that's what you want. Bangers on a
Yeah.
bunch of them on. You know, it's getting there. We're trying, right?
We're
Well,
trying.
We're
I
getting
need
there.
that. I need the state as a whole to come up so that bigger colleges start looking at our state tournament so that when my kids get to high school, you know, they're getting looked at, you know.
It's all about you all the time, man.
Wait, time out. Is it not?
No, you're right, Kelly. It's all about you.
Isn't I thought this whole show was about me.
It is. All
Yeah,
right.
that's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Like
44.
you're from India. I would expect nothing less. All right, where we at?
Look, you should
44.
just be honored. Someone from Indy came on to here to grace you.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'll give you this. When I first opened up and I asked for people to come, you were one of the first ones that jumped on board, and I appreciate that. Thank you. You're a good dude. I don't care
Here
what
for it.
wants
Here
to.
for
You know,
it.
you brought. How do I say it? Cresta.
Yeah, Cresa.
Cresta. Yeah, you brought him and his sister here. It was awesome. It was good stuff. It was before he was the great. He was a good wrestler, right? We knew it was going to be great, but it was before he won his titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so what we got? Yeah. Gunner Butts, we
One
know
four,
he's good. We're still not done here. Yep, we're done with our guys. So now we're at what?
44.
44.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? My favorite guy in the brackets at 44. I've got a lot invested in one of these guys.
All right. Who's that? If he's not at
Oh,
the
come
top of
on.
it, we don't want to talk about him yet.
Check him out. You see him there. Down there in that third quarter bracket.
We talking Politko?
Plahitko.
Plahitko.
Was he at 50
Yeah,
earlier
good.
this season?
Yeah, we
No.
know. We saw him earlier
No.
this year. He's good.
He's a good
Thank
kid.
you.
I met him at
Hey,
Folkestone State last year. He's a tough kid.
yeah, it was hard. I took a step back this year and haven't coached any high school.
I was
Um,
wondering, you kind of disappeared.
yeah, you know, life gets rough when you got 5 kids.
You know,
Um,
Yeah, I'll take
you
your
know how
word
and
that
for it.
happens, right?
yeah, I know. I'm trying to talk Sarah into having a sixth one. Um, right now, she's not about it, but we'll see after Ryan. Our youngest isn't even a year old yet. But you know, taking a step back, like his senior year, I mean, was super hard. And he calls me every week, he's texting me every day. Um, and then, you know, I showed up for the regional semi state. I mean, kid's been to the ticket round like 3 times and finally punched his ticket this year. So, like,
Good stuff.
it's
So,
like,
Good.
so
for
is
the
this
love
the
of
That'll be a
fourth
God,
year
good
he's been in
matchup
the ticket?
against the
Did he make
Valpo
it to the
kids.
ticket round?
That'll
Like,
be a good one.
is this the fourth year that he made it to the ticket round?
yes, yes.
Oh, good for him. Yeah, when we talk about heavyweights, that the Trevi, oof, all right, we'll get to that, like, hopefully sooner or later. But yeah, that was a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
All right.
Hoppus is in the second quarter bracket. Him and another Columbus North kid. That Columbus North kid's solid as well. But I think
Yeah.
Hoppy can get that one done though. He's wrestling tough. Hegwood came out. I mean, I feel like Hoppus and Hegwood kind of mirror each other. That match could go any way anytime they wrestle. But Hegwood came out and got it at semi-state. But Hoppus wrestled tough though. I mean, the Hegwoods are gonna Hegwood. That's what they do, right? Like they're gonna beat on you, man. And he did.
Look, I've got a funny story about Hoppus, right? He wrestled on my middle school team out at Virginia Beach one year. And I'm not joking. So something happened. He had like flights and rentals and stuff. Like flights got canceled. His dad's like rental car wasn't ready, and then they went to another rental place, like drove to another state to go to a different airport to catch a flight to Virginia. Like it was crazy, and I had to like show some leg to the ladies at the weigh-ins to get him to like weigh in the next day.
I'm sure that worked.
And I'm not joking. I watched him step on the scale, and he was probably like a solid 6 pounds over. And we're all looking at each other like, "What?" And the lady goes,
Airplane
"Nah,
food.
he's good." Just goes, "Nah, he's good," and just like puts him in the weight. I was like, "So he's wrestling?"
IHSAA.
So now some
I
things about
mean,
Virginia Beach are starting to make sense.
Yeah,
Nah,
that,
he isn't like that.
he
that
I
wasn't.
think
He
originally
wasn't.
Hoppus is an Eastern kid too.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's tough, man.
Well,
He's really good at staying in
it's the
position.
Oak Hill, people are trying to get out of the Oak
Great
Hill
hips.
sectional, dude. They don't
I
want no
don't blame
part of
him,
the
man.
Oak
It's
Hill
tough out
sectional.
there. It's
They don't want no part
tough
of that.
world.
I don't. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've been hearing Oak Hill's name for like the last 7 or 8 years. I don't know where it's at.
Let them know,
Middle
Brody.
of nowhere, man.
Like I think I tried
We're
to pull
between
it up
Marion
on
and
Google
Kokomo.
Maps once, and it said location not available.
I'm not surprised about that one bit. Little 2A country school.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we got those down here.
I'll tell you what, Hoppy.
I think Hoppus. I mean, Brody, you tell me what you think. I think Hoppus and or all any of you. I think Hoppus and Hegel can both be on the
Oh,
podium. I think those are
110% me and
certainly.
Hop. Dude,
Yeah, I have them both.
there's been many alive nights that they've been battling for the T-shirt. Like those two are a dog.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the
who
twins
does
just come. They just show up for live.
oh, dude, they do. Dude,
who's the
outside.
draw? Who
They
does
just
he have
they
Friday
just
night?
come to straight bang it out, dude. They're not interested. That other stuff, they ain't got time for that.
No, no. All
They
right,
come
yeah,
and
I guess.
Hey,
chat.
Who does
Go
Hagewood
home.
have Friday
Hagewood better
night?
be ready for a fight on
What's that,
Saturday
Juwan?
morning.
So who does Hagewood have Friday night again?
Let's see here.
Chase Klein.
Chase Klein.
Avon kid.
I'm gonna show
Yeah,
a
Chase
little.
Klein.
I'm gonna show a little Haywood clip here. Brody. Let me. This is pretty much pure athleticism, right? It goes for a little dump, doesn't get it, comes up and says, "Nah, all right, I'll just go with the go behind, rip you over." But it gets better here. Um, it- he comes here and says, I got to run. I think I'm gonna go big crotch lift here as you come up and just.
Krisha Bomb.
Yep, exactly, Christian Bomb.
Yeah.
Matthew Kelly, did you teach Krisha that? Or
That was not me.
not you? Like, yeah, you don't want to tripod and stand up
I'll
on that.
take I'll take my credit where I can get it. That was not me. I don't think I don't think anyone gets to take credit for that except himself, and
Boom.
that just comes from him being just a kind of a dick. I mean,
Sure,
he's
you
I mean
can't say that.
he's just a bully. His whole mentality
Mm.
was, I'm just gonna bully you for 6 minutes. And I think that's where that came from, was like, in his mind, he always thought there's nothing more demoralizing than if I stick my arm through your crotch, pick you up, and put you on your back. Like, nothing says I'm more of a man than you than that. And I think that's what he feeds off of. He's just like, come here, bam.
It's good stuff. Unfortunately, Boyd did that to us. Anyways, all right. What do we got?
150. 150, the best bracket to talk about maybe of the entire tournament, in my opinion.
All right, give me a second.
Very possible.
I mean, if you're talking about
Yeah.
parity, right? There may be some higher profile matches as far as like 113 goes with Verduzco and Bell and Shutley and those cats. But man, 150 is 150. Maybe I'm
You better not
wrong.
leave your seats Saturday morning. for when 150
Man,
comes
I'm
I'm
up.
seeing like
I'm
5, 6,
I'm
1, 2,
50 is
3.
wild. 50 is wild.
I'm going with there is only one man in this bracket that wins this. There's one man and one man only. That is my boy, Easton Dawson.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm
Just a
rolling
I
with
kid
him
from
agree.
too.
New Haven. Just a kid from New Haven.
Just a dog.
I'm
A
really
bulldog.
hoping, and this is no, this would be a tall task, certainly just because of the depth. Not that I'm counting out either of the Fort Wayne kids, but I would love to see an all Fort Wayne semi-state if possible, right? Like Lincoln Carter, I mean, I
Dude,
watched
Lincoln
him in
Carter's
semi-state.
D1. Like
This
he's
dude's a
he's an
this
You
dude's a
athlete.
said
freak.
it, Andy. He's a D1
He might be
athlete.
one of the most underrated kids in the state. I mean, before anyone came into semi-state, I mean, I
Both
know
of
he
them
was
are
a
He hit
D1.
a
semi-state
couple. He
qualifier
hit a
coming into the
couple full-on
season, but
splits.
I
he
I
turned it up.
remember I remember
Lincoln
Lincoln
Carter's
Carter
underrated.
being
I agree.
I remember him being really, really, really tough when he was in middle school. Um, and then he just kind of was off my radar after that. Like I hadn't really seen too much, heard too much. I think I saw him at like some ISWA stuff, and he was always doing like pretty decent. But then this year, I'm like, holy crap! I
GPEP got
remember
him
him
right.
before.
Peppel's
Like
doing good things over there.
Yeah,
G-Pep.
he's like a legit like he's a dog on the football field as well, is what the Garrett coaches were telling me. Like he's an animal.
Oh, he put up ridiculous numbers this year, Nick.
That's what I heard. I didn't realize that. So yeah, that's
Oh, really?
And he took out the number one guy in the state at semi-state. I think he's a real threat. He's a real. Why not? Why not?
yeah. Why not?
Preferably, I would like to see the round 3 in the finals. Ideally, but there's a lot of game kids here. I can't count out Seth Syra, and there's other tough kids here. Ortega, Kursky,
Yeah,
Parker
Ortega's my
Reynolds,
sleeper.
Foster, Foster wrestles at
Foster.
literally everything. I see anytime I'm there, I see their
dude,
coaches
Foster
who's
Foster
who.
spent an entire year living at Legends of Gold in Idaho.
Yeah.
Literally. I think it was his entire freshman year of high school. He lived
I
at the
do remember
Legends of
that.
Gold facility in Idaho or South Dakota. In South
South
Dakota.
Dakota. It was
Yeah.
South Dakota.
Hey, my boy
I
wants to go
don't.
to
Yeah.
Dagestan, dude. He keeps sending me videos. He really does want to go to Dagestan.
What's
I
that
just want to
video?
send my
Send
kids to
your son to
Dagestan so they
Dagestan
can come back
for the
Forget.
fast.
You
summer or something like
forget.
that. And kiss
Yeah.
it goodbye.
He said one call, 6 months, one phone call.
Yeah, he told me. He sent me that video actually.
Forget.
So the Purdue, the Poly coach. I mean, obviously, I know I don't. I've never met him, but I remember just seeing his face, and he was an assistant for Brownsburg. He like, I
Mike
mean,
Morgan.
that's
Mike
a real
Morgan.
program.
Dude,
Oh, Mike
and
Morgan's
He's
Mike
got
legit.
he's got that thing
Mike
rolling.
Morgan is a dude that down here so many people actually kind of like dog on a little bit. But he is the best, in my opinion, he's the best dude that a program would want because he's the kind of guy that will do all of the stuff that most coaches don't want to do.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, well, I
the
see him
stuff that
everywhere, literally everywhere.
the
I mean,
stuff
I
coaches
see
don't
him
want
at
to
the
do.
U.S. Open in Vegas,
I was gonna say,
freestyle states,
Bro's still
individual.
competing.
I think I saw him wrestle at Freestyle
Yeah.
State. Is that right?
He still wrestles.
Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
got
I
the
bet
yeah.
him. I
So
bet
that's
him money at Freestyle Greco State last year that I would five him, and he was like, "You couldn't five me," and I'm like, "I'm telling you, Mike, I would toss you right on your dome piece." He never did take me up on that bet. Mike Morgan, if you see this, my offer still stands.
I want to say Caprino made a video of him a few years ago wrestling out in Vegas. And I'm not gonna lie, he hit a nasty like jab whiz. He put a
Oh
dude on
yeah.
his head. I was
Oh yeah.
surprised.
He still
Yeah,
wrestles. He's connected with the kids. He's one of those guys that knows what's going on in the wrestling community.
And give them a little love too. They made it to what are they? They go to team state this year. I think they did pretty well. They won. I think they
you
won one or
got
two duels.
yeah. You got any clips? You got any clips here, Andy? We got
Oh
any
yeah, I
clips that
got
we're
some
sitting?
clips here. I got some good clips for
Let's
this one.
roll them.
All right,
Let's roll them.
so um,
Can we get an Easton Doster running a full Nelson in the state finals last year clip?
Dude, don't be rude. I'm gonna give you. You know what I'm gonna give you? I think this is
We might have to mute him.
I have to mute him. Let's see, what is this? Little Easton Doster. Just I think a low double. Boom, low double go around, right? Like almost a low single, but it's a double. Hits it right in that spot and goes around. Just this is money, right? Right off the little hand fight. As it rotates him. Boop. Never know when it's gonna hit you.
You guys are more. You guys are another Fort Wayne area, a little bit better. What's the Rutgers connection there? How'd that come about? You guys know anything about that?
My best guess is that him and his older brother are really close.
Yep. It's it.
Um
You nailed it.
and Owen is living either out in Jersey or Philly,
Oh, okay,
and I think he's going out there. I think that was a big thing behind that was
that's cool,
like
man.
being out there closer to where his brother's at. I've been friends with
Can't
his
beat
brother for
that.
a long time.
Honestly,
It
Rutgers is a
seems like
great
the
fit for him.
perfect fit.
That's a they're known for their toughness and just mean hand fighting. I feel like Easton kind of fits that persona.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he seems like the perfect fit, like where they rank at nationally and where he ranks at nationally
Mm-hmm.
among the groups. And, he
He's
competed pretty well at IHSAAs in Fargo last year. Didn't get what he wanted, but he had some pretty competitive matches with Jace Roller and other pretty top ranked kids in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
So this is
no doubt.
overtime
like
right here. Like, look how close this is, right? This is a little reattack. Boom, boom. If this is on the out of bounds line, they probably call takedown there, right? They didn't.
Yeah.
that's a tough
yeah.
tough break there.
Yep. Yeah, I think we were all kind of sitting next to each other when this happened. Like, he's here. And then I got the ultimate tiebreaker here coming up where Lee Carter just says, "I'm gonna
Yeah,
let."
he went straight big back there, man.
Yeah, he just
Well, that was
Yeah, he just ran
crazy.
it. I mean, that's the epitome of just running through it.
yeah. But yeah,
The
this
hold looked like a fireman's carry, and then he just like stood up with it and doubled
yeah.
off. That was
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've small talked with Doster, met him handful of times, and a really nice dude. I don't know him all that well, but from what I do know, right, and just watching him, my guess is he probably comes out hot. That I could be wrong, right? Maybe
Yeah.
there's things I don't know, but
Dude,
my guess is
dude, you can't.
he's
He,
probably coming out
yeah,
steaming.
I had him do privates with my son all summer. And I texted him. I waited a few days, right? You gotta let that settle. How you feeling? You good? And he's like, I needed that. And I was like, I expect you to
I
say
got
that. That's
I got
exactly
Kyle
what I
Marsh.
expect you to say. I needed
I got
that.
Kyle
I know
Marsh
I
texting
know
me
I'm
right now
defensible.
telling Kyle,
I'll tell
Kyle
Marsh
Marsh
what's
is on
up.
here telling me right now. He's telling me I need to go throw my M3 shirt on.
You throw it on, man. I love me some
We
M3. I love
love
me some
M3.
Kyle Marsh.
We love M3. Shout out to M3.
Love you. All right, so watch this.
We'll
Here it
get to
is.
165 in a second. We'll talk about it's Tom Marsh, correct?
Yeah, Tom's his dad. Ah!
man.
What
Man.
is that?
That's
Look at that. This is stupid. Mm.
The thing is, the Foster still or Doster still almost
Bro.
defends it once he gets his feet back
Yeah.
down onto the mat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is
This is pure Butler's Big Mac, right? Like pure Butler's Big Mac. Like there's
no for sure.
yeah, like
He
yeah, like
that's manly stuff. Getting
is
that lift
that how
there.
you drill it? Like do you drill it like that? Like here, like arch your back, do this. Yeah, exactly like that. What is that?
Yeah, he's not. I know a lot of not too many people are picking him, and I don't want to be over reactionary to his victory, but I mean, good luck beating that guy. He
No,
looked, he looked,
I
he
hope
looked
we
I
see that in
agree.
the finals. Like, but obviously we're biased.
And this is one thing I'll tell Lincoln Carter. You got to wrestle Doster again. Good luck beating him twice.
Oh yeah. I agree, 100%.
I mean, he has to probably do a Parker Reynolds in the semis to get there.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
probably
insane. That's
another.
nasty all the way across the board, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is no path that you look at and go, man, this guy's got a good path.
No,
Mm.
It's state.
I
no,
mean,
no one.
no one's got a good path in this weight.
Yes,
You
Saturday
know,
Saturday
Aaron
morning.
Durham from Warren Central. He's not a slouch. Ranked 20th, wrestling at the 7th ranked kid Smith. Um, that's gonna be like a fireworks matchup. Those are two dudes that can go big and score a lot of points. And the winner of that wrestles probably Lincoln Carter. That I mean he's Carter. Anyone on each side of the bracket is going to have to wrestle close, tough matches every both days, every round just to get to the finals. That may be one of the most, maybe not one of the most like you know, highly looked at weight classes in terms of like, how many nationally ranked kids and stuff are in it. But I think it's going to be the funnest weight class to watch all weekend.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Brody, you're in charge of getting
Just,
bigs there by 150.
All right, talk
What'd you say?
157.
You're in
I
charge of
gotta
getting
go
bigs
grab
there
a.
by 150.
I gotta go grab a
Man,
charger.
I don't know about that. That's gonna be
Talk
tough.
about
That's a pretty cool story about Casey Brown, or what Casey Bradley said, how he got contacted by
Yeah.
Rutgers.
Yeah, I did remember seeing him at University of Penn.
We have 57. We ready?
Yep. Let's roll right into it.
Yeah, 57. The Brock Hagwood. That'll be another really good one. I mean, in that top quarter. Actually, all the way around. Even Staples wrestling Ratliff first round. That's looking at that one. That's no easy one. Another Columbus North kid, but Rossville, the younger Weaver, correct, Brody? That's his brother. Obviously, I'm assuming.
yeah. Yep,
Correct.
that's the younger brother. He's a semi-state ticket round guy last year. Lost to Braden Getz in the ticket round. But just another one of those kids wrestles a lot.
Have you watched him this year? Has he improved since last season?
I think he's a
Different
folk
dude.
style national runner up too this summer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Totally, totally different dude.
And I will
I
say,
had
dude,
a feel. I was
so
worried about that when I saw Weaver. I'm like, man, Weaver made a jump last
Yeah.
year, and then I saw they were saying like he was in the weight room the following Monday right after winning state. So I figured little brother would probably be a beast as well. I don't think I've seen him wrestle yet though.
there's
He's
another one too coming up. I think he was a freshman, maybe at 32 or 38, and
Gosh,
yeah,
he's going to be. I
yeah,
think he's another one that's going to slowly kind of mature and get better throughout his high school career. But he's another one I think is going to be. He'll either have a medal or he'll be at state by the time he's done. I think.
yeah, yeah. Hagewood Weaver Friday night. That's a tough match. I can't pick that one. I I mean, I think if you
Yeah, that's
wrestle
gonna be
that
tough.
match 10
That's
different
gonna be a
times,
good one, man.
you wrestle it 10 times, you're getting 10 different scores, and you're getting a different winner every time. It's
I will say one thing about the Weavers too, man. One time we used to go to CIA, and back when COVID happened, we used to have to go to the Weavers' house for practice. Let me tell you, man, they have a wrestler's dream setup there. That they have a big ass pole barn with a loft on top. Uh, you could live up there, man. They have a whole setup there that's just unreal.
see, that wouldn't be
And
my
they're a
dream. I
great
want
great
a I want
family.
a dark, smelly basement with you know
They keep me out of
that's
there. It sounds like the
That's
Iowa
that
wrestling room.
Indianapolis in you, man.
that's what my kids' lives are like. It's gonna be a dark, smelly basement where there's gonna be holes in the wall everywhere. There's gonna be blood on the wall. They're just gonna beat each other up.
A solid draw for in the next quarter
Not if they
bracket.
go to Ron
Another foreign representative, Dubois. He
You've
wrestles
never
tough.
seen you've never seen the wrestling room over there,
I'm
son.
just kidding.
It
Ron
ain't
Collins are
it ain't
mean.
pretty. Yeah, that's because we don't have anything. Our weight room, I'm not joking, like you guys would laugh. You guys would laugh if you walked into our weight room.
Dude, I would not laugh. I would be very
No,
modest about it, but then I'd brag about how good Homestead's weight room is and facilities. We're very welcoming,
Really
ours
good.
is in a
It's a really good
bubble.
education as well.
great education.
You have to
All right.
talk my wife into moving up north.
If we move down
Good
there, we
luck.
got one of the Fort's own and Garrett. Garrett's one and only Brian Barrett, one of my favorite wrestlers. If I'm being honest, I'm not just saying that because Kraus is my boy, but Brian Barrett is. The first time I met him was at a freestyle tournament. I don't know if he'd ever wrestled freestyle, if I'm being honest, but he did not care. He
No,
was out. He was out there just to scrap. That's it. That's all.
that is it.
Yeah, dude, and
Dude,
he
and you
will
know
too.
what?
I look
You
for that to be, I mean, sure he's an underdog there, but man, I guarantee you he comes out and gets after it though.
Do not
That's what.
underestimate Brian Barry.
Nope.
one of my one of my biggest things I tell guys all the time, like I get a lot of guys that like don't come to me like there'll be kids that'll be like, hey, like they want to do a private or whatever, and a lot of times we don't do a lot of wrestling. Like we just kind of talk. They come to me when they're like, man, I'm nervous. I've got a big match, and they're kind of throwing all this stuff at me. And the first words usually out of my mouth are like, why are you putting so much on this? Why are you giving it so much of your time? Like sometimes the dude that's gonna win that big match is the guy that kind of doesn't care. Like he's out there just to go scrap.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, that's a
because
conversation we
because
have all the time, man.
as wrestlers, that's what we love to do. We just love the fight. We love to scrap. Like don't like I don't care who I'm wrestling. Like I'm just gonna go throw everything I got at him. For
Yeah,
6 minutes.
if you watch Brian Barrett warm up, I'm looking that guy in his eyes, and he has no fear. Like I'm looking at him like
No.
he probably thinks he's dating Fix or somebody. Like I'm looking at him and he's serious. Like he's in the zone. I'm like, man, who does this guy think he is? And then I mean, he went out there and did it. Qualifying for state. So I would not count that guy
Dude,
out.
dude, he tried to fight the whole Iron Sharpens Iron team down at the Outweigh duels or whatever it was called this year.
Nick
Like,
told me that story.
dude, it was like,
Yeah,
like, yeah, and like me and that guy ended up being friends. Like, and we chit chat now. But I look at his profile, like, guy's a UFC fighter. It's like Barrett, his whole team, and then me. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna get me like beat up and kicked off, like. But Barrett was all in. He's like,
Oh, he's all in.
No, he
yeah.
he
He
se-
he
he
probably
seems like
has
the
a
kind of
future in MMA. I would guess he's a future MMA fighter. I don't know how he cares about
he's
being punched in the face, but I would assume he would get in the octagon with somebody.
he seems like the kind of dude that every match that he wrestles, he's like, all I have to do is win one match. Like
Hmm.
he doesn't look at like,
The overall
man,
scope.
this whole bracket. He every time he steps out, he's like, I just got to win one match. And so he's like, all I got to do is give everything I got for one match. And then he gets to the next match and he does the same thing. I just got to win one match. Like boom, and then he goes out there and he's a dude that finds a way. He's like a cockroach, You just can't get rid of him. You can't kill him. Like next thing you know, you turn around, he's like right there. Um, it's impressive. I mean, he's a four, and he's a four that you can't look at Friday night and go, oh yeah, whatever. Like I got the Fort Wayne four, perfect, great draw. No, like, this dude's gonna come for your head for 6 minutes.
I
all right, we
like
better move on. My
the last
laptop is
Fort
dying.
Fort Wayne representative there. I'm not going to say too much about my predictions because maybe they like laying low. I don't know, but I think he's going to be tough to beat, man. I like Jackson Bradley. I never really saw him a whole lot besides semi-state last year, but I saw him at the AC Invite this year, and then I saw him at semi-state, and man, he just goes.
Man, he's a good mix of funky but just technical too. Like if he gets on the legs, he's really good at finishes. But
Yep.
if you get in on his legs, he makes it hell for you to finish, man.
Yep, I
He's
like
fun to
him.
watch. I enjoy watching
Again,
Bradley.
I'm not gonna say too much. I like him in that bottom half, though. That's all I'm saying. I like him to go. I like him to go on a deep run.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
65.
I'm
All right,
interested to see.
Oh, go ahead, Juan. Go ahead.
No, yeah, like you said, Jackson Bradley. He's a really talented kid. I mean, he placed as a freshman. He got fourth last year, but he lost to Thrine for third. So I'm almost interested at like how high of a level of a kid that it takes to beat him, or how high he'll place, or will he finish up in the finals or a state
Right.
champion if he ends up.
And honestly, man, he keeps proving people wrong because, like, I'm not saying he necessarily prove people wrong, but he's bumping up weights every year. Starting at
Yeah.
26. I don't know if he was at 32 or 38 last year, but taking fourth last year and now going all the way up to 57 after starting the year like at 44. That's kind of crazy, but it's paying off for him. He's a stud, you know.
All
No
right.
doubt.
Man, I didn't have any Barrett highlights that I feel bad about, but we talked about him enough, so you should feel good about that.
Yeah.
The Hagewoods, Brock's in this weight class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. He has
Weaver.
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 Yep. That's going to be a tough Friday night match. 2 top 10 ranked guys.
I guess where Brock's just stingy, like. And Duboc's no joke, man. He's no joke.
No.
Yeah,
Nice.
right here he just says, nah, you know what? I'm just gonna crush you. Step over.
Tough.
Nice. All right, so 65.
Yep. Let's do it.
Oh no.
We can
Oh.
skip the first quarter bracket if you want us to.
I'm gonna need to go. For some reason, my laptop's not charging off this, and I need to make sure I get it charged. So that's why I'm hopping in and out. But you guys
You
can
got
talk.
a video of that Spladle for us, Andy?
I got 2 different split of videos. All right, I'll kick it up here real quick, and then I'll go get the charger. All right, so the storyline is Biddle, who we love, right? We do. We love our Sammy boy. We love Biddle. Biddle, I think, was a middle school state champion. Got really good hips. Incredible athlete. His brother was a good wrestler. He's a really good football player, quarterback, whole 9 yards. Know he's funky. As a matter of fact, like he took out my last year was Heisler. Like we're winning and no, it's Heiser's junior year. We're beating him with like seconds left as a freshman. He like comes up and lat drops us, and we lose that match, and it causes us to get the 4 seed at sectionals and lose in regionals and blah blah blah. Like I got a long history of Biddle. He's an incredible wrestler. Knew it was going to be a fight. My Godinez. Am I saying it right? Godinez. I always say it wrong.
Yeah, I always called him Godinez. He never corrected me. Maybe he
Yeah.
doesn't care.
Yeah, you should never. But he's just a funky wrestler, man. He's strong. He's funky, right? Like so, we knew that match could be something. And Biddle hit a spladle against Monroe Central, like to win his match, and then vice versa happened for the ticket round against Godinez. So here is Biddle's spladle, right?
And this match was a first round match of Ulam and Biddle, who were both ticket round wrestlers last year, and I believe 9 and 12 in the state.
Oh,
Wow.
Nasty.
yeah, that was
Nasty.
dirty. Biddle's got some juice though, man. He always has.
Boom.
Yeah.
He's here. He's just got like boop, sticks the leg in, steps over, got the head stuffed, goes right for
He
it.
disguised that real well.
Let me put that in my notes, not to hang on that guy's leg.
No, don't even think about hanging on his leg, right? And then we got the Godinez special here in a second here. Godinez. I have a little Godinez rush, like this is the match before. And this is just a highlight of Godinez's funkiness, right? Like he's trying for a spladle or something here. Whatever it is, didn't work, right? Typical, maybe a headlock, maybe whatever. I'll just kick over it and then just step over again for the third time.
God.
Yeah. And double grapes. That's his crusher. Right. And then we have the actual Godina spladle, Carson spladle. Here it is.
By the way, you said he's strong. That does no justice at all. That's an understatement.
Bloop.
Oh my gosh.
I turned my head away 2 seconds there, and all I hear is I'm sitting next to the East Noble
All right,
people
I gotta
too.
try
Man.
it.
It got quiet quick. I felt pretty
Live
bad.
by the Spladle.
I'm biased here. The
That's
greatest
tight.
Spladle the greatest Spladle of the Indiana State tournament ever
Brennan Kelly.
was nope. And
Fleener
this
from
Spladle
Center Grove.
gets overshadowed every year.
Yeah.
2014 Saturday
Who
morning.
was that?
Tyler Fleener.
Drew
Tyler
Hughes.
Fleener Spladle Drew
Drew Hughes. Yeah,
Hughes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
Timeout.
gosh.
No one knows the backstory on this. Okay, Tyler Fleener did it with a broken hip.
Mm.
What?
He broke his hip at the Al Smith that year.
That's like the beginning of the season too. I mean,
Like
going in deep in the postseason.
broke it wrestling Tommy Cash. Um, didn't wrestle really the rest of the season. Um, wrestled to like the sectional final, forfeited, regional final, forfeited, wrestled the semi-state final and lost by one. Um, and then draws Drew Hughes Saturday morning, and he looks at me the night before and he goes, "I'm gonna spladle Drew Hughes." And I said, "There's no way." He goes, "Dude, I've wrestled Drew 100 times since we were little, and I've never lost to him. I'm not losing to him tomorrow morning. I'm gonna spladle him." And he walked out there. He took and hit a high crotch, took him down, and cut him. And I went, "What are we doing?" And he throws that leg out there like, "Hey, buddy." And Drew shoots that single, and Tyler chased it down for a little bit and puts him on his back. And I went, "Oh my God, we actually hit it."
Sounds right.
Greatest spladle of the state tournament ever. And Brendan Kelly's in the finals, whatever. That's great. But did he do it to the number one ranked kid in the state?
I
No,
got
he
one for
definitely
you.
did
I got
one
one
better.
for you. Nick, you might remember this. Cassidy Wilson hitting Eric Keith, number one ranked from Portage,
Eric
Friday
Keith.
night.
Yeah,
Twice.
yeah. From
Hit him
Portage,
with it
hit him
twice.
with it
Second
twice.
time he pinned him.
All
I,
right.
I was I always hear that story, but I was too young.
Andrew said Pendowski remembered that.
Yeah, dude, at
So
CIA,
yeah,
Pendowski had some choice words for Coach King. All joking,
that's
all
right.
love, but you know how he had to
Yeah,
come up
yeah,
to him
yeah, yeah.
because they haven't seen each other since that happened.
Well, so we got Godinez in that top part. You know, he's going to have his hands full, but he's going to come out. I mean, he'll come out ready to get after it. The other qualifier on that half, Gavin Davis, I'd like to see him. You know, I'm really hoping he punches through. I think he's had some injuries
Yeah,
over the
I'm
last.
showing it. Yeah, I'm showing him a little Gavin Davis.
He looks healthy to me now.
Yeah, his
Yeah, I think he
reattacks
gets his first medal here, and hopefully makes
snap
a run
hard.
again.
He's a good kid, man. He's a good
I
kid. He's
don't,
had a lot
I
of
don't,
injuries.
This is another
I
guy
don't
that's
know.
strong. Gavin Davis is strong.
I don't know if Gavin
I don't know if
Davis's
that
dad
does it
has.
justice, but
I don't know that his dad has ever forgiven me. Still, uh, when he was in middle school, I asked him to be on a team, and his dad took a little bit of time getting back with me, a couple of days, and I ended up taking Noah Klauser over Gavin Davis. Um, and his dad was like anytime I asked him to be on a team after that was 100% no, absolutely not. Um, just he's
You see,
sounds like you
held
made
it
a
you got to
mistake,
against.
stop being
man.
you got to stop being biased
you
against the Fort Worth
snooze,
Samurai
you
today.
lose, Kelly.
All right. What do we got here? What next weight class? Duke has to get to bed here sooner or later. We need to start flying through these. We could probably talk all night.
Well, no, I think we need to talk about though. Just give a little shout out to Coach to Wes Noble with another wrestler. It seems like he's always got someone down
Klauser,
here, right? Like Coach is still like no Coach Marsh, man. Like he's always doing
Marsh.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always, always, and he's
yeah.
very supportive too, right? Like he made me a shirt way back in the day. I still have it in my closet. Oberlin train shirt, the long sleeve shirt. Like they used to, Marsh used to come to the DeKalb Wrestling Club. Kyle and I used to coach both his boys, and they would be part of it. And like I still remember that. Like they're super good, supportive people, right? They are West Noble. Yeah, I think he owns the
Yeah,
bowling alley.
Kyle's probably gonna find a way to sleep on my couch this weekend while he's down here.
Yeah,
Does he work? Does he work there at West Noble?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I could be
I
wrong.
know he has. I know he has his club and he works with like middle schoolers
I'd
and
like to see him get on the
elementary.
post. I think that's a Santiago's tough. Godinez wrestled him earlier in the year, and it was out of control, just like any Godinez match was. I think it was like 18-14 or something like that. But Klaus can win. Klaus. That's. I mean, that's a. If there's ever such thing as a good draw, right? That's it. I mean, he can hang.
Yeah.
He can hang with Santiago. Santiago's good though.
Yeah, we ought to
Like
get
seeing
Klaus and
that one.
Davis
Like
to
seeing
medal
win that one
there.
for the old coach.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, what do we got? 175.
Yep.
Yeah, Brody. What'd you
175.
think of Stebbins this weekend?
Impressive, man.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
His
he looked
length gives a
good.
lot of people problems.
Yep.
Yep.
I do think
A
that.
little unassuming too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. He doesn't.
He just looks like a dude, but
he does. His
but
underhook's
he's a
nasty.
dude.
The underhook throw by is
Yeah.
nasty.
He's
Can
tough
he
on
dunk a
balance.
basketball? He looks like he's 6'5" out there, man.
yeah.
I bet he
God.
could, dude.
How did he get down to
Dude, I can,
75? That dude
bro.
looks
I
huge.
can dunk a basketball,
No, sure,
Yeah,
Kelly.
no trampoline.
You know who I realized
bro,
real
on a
quick?
6-foot goal.
I realized Wyatt Davis is in this weight class.
Yeah. Remember him
Yeah.
from the old Peru Regional, man? He from like 113, I think.
You have to say, wasn't he a 113 pounder?
Yeah.
I think he was a qualifier at 6.
And I was his freshman year. I know he's a cool story. I think he quit his sophomore year.
Yeah.
Came back last year. I think he's a ticket rounder or a first round guy, and then he beats like number 6 in the ticket round this year to punch his ticket back to state.
Yeah, he beat Torado from Lake Central.
And Torado, I saw Al Smith. It was no joke. That's a big win.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I had Torado winning that match, and I knew it was 50-50, but Davis,
a lot of people did.
Davis showed up, man.
Davis was wrestling 90 earlier in the year, and he started his career off at 106.
That's crazy.
He looked jacked though. He didn't look pudgy
Bro,
in the
leave him
singlet at all.
alone, man. He's hungry.
Yeah.
I can see. I think
He
if
put
we're
on that
talking
good
Fort
weight.
Wayne, if we're keeping it Fort Wayne, I think. I mean, that could be someone that's in the semis. I think there's a path there for Stebbins to be wrestling Kressel. I mean, I don't want to short anybody else on the top half. I just know Kressel's not very fun to wrestle. I know personally, and so, Stebbins could be in the semis, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's very possible.
Yeah.
Nick, I remember you telling me the story in the offseason when Waylon did have a practice partner, and I think he got thrown in.
And I felt bad because he was looking to wrestle. You could tell, and I had my gym shoes on, and I was like trying to get out of there, and I was like, man, I was like, he didn't have. I was like, I didn't really know him either, right? So then it's, I'm one of those people, like, I don't love any type of awkwardness. So I didn't really know him. I'd never met him before, and I knew who he was from watching him. But so I was like, man, this kid came to practice. I had just got done coaching the middle school, and I was walking out the door, and he didn't have a partner. I was like, man. And so I wrestled him, and I had bruises all over, like, my neck, the tops of my shoulders. It was a freestyle practice, like over my ribs from him hitting gut wrenches. It wasn't. I'm just saying right now, it's not that fun.
No, I've had to fill in for VZ and Caleb Evans. And it's no fun, man. Just walk out. Don't be the good guy, Nick. Just walk outside.
I don't even like to watch. I don't even like to watch Kressel wrestle. Ha, that rhymed. Like it hurts to watch. Like I'll start watching. I'm like, oh my god! Like my neck starts hurting. My
Dude,
back
he's got
starts
that
hurting.
snap that I wrestled him. I wrestled him hard for about a good 45 seconds. I felt good, like I did.
Dude, I bet I could give Kressel everything he would want for a solid 30 seconds.
Yep, that's what I had. Yep.
Yeah, he's good. I mean,
is he tested this weekend?
Like I said,
you guys see anyone that should be able to challenge him this weekend, or does he just
not
walk
even close? Not even close. He might fall asleep at some point during.
I mean, unless Xavier Smith is able to kind of redo some magic that he had. I watched that semi-state finals match. Who knows?
Hey, Smith scrapped with him, man.
Dude, Smith can roll, right? And they've rolled enough. They're friends.
I just don't. Yeah, like how Matt said. I just don't see anyone being able to get past that next level and beat him.
If there's anybody, I think it's Weeds.
They did say X scored a couple touchdowns. I mean, a couple A couple
touchdowns.
takedowns on him though, right?
Yeah, 2 at least.
Yeah, but now he's pissed off about them. Now he's like,
Exactly.
Yeah,
now they're
Yeah.
personal.
Oh,
yeah,
Like, yeah, the
yeah.
wounded
Now,
bear
now it's like,
Smith took
oh,
him down.
twice.
Smith, I
But,
had my eyes on
Preston got
Smith
4th,
because
so it don't matter.
he was the triple All American. I think he was runner up folk style nationals, 6th Fargo freestyle, 3rd Greco, something like that.
Yeah.
But he's very competitive nationally. Even at Super 32, he was beating or having close matches with some guys that were right there on the national rankings or committed to go D1. So he
Mm-hmm.
always does really well against an out of state competition.
Yeah, so on the bottom side of things, we have the Jakester Thrash, right, against MJ Morton. Who first time they wrestled, not making any excuses, but the Jaker I think went out and just tried to throw in a lat drop, and then MJ's obviously tough on top. I watched some videos, man. That guy rips arms. He's not nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah. Keep
just
your
rip.
elbows tucked.
Yeah, he ripped us tight.
now, would you believe me if I said he was a sectional qualifier last year?
No, I absolutely would.
That's it.
Like,
That's it.
Yes.
I think he got 5th or 6th at the sectional last year.
yeah.
Hey, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but
Inspirational.
is he just a bigger version of his older brother? They wrestle, I feel like, identical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I thought. Big
Yeah.
legs on top. We'll throw you
Yeah.
if needed be.
Yeah.
No,
That's
He's a
what I
you
thought.
know
killer.
what? We'll throw you whether it's needed or not.
What's his brother's name?
Uh,
Keaton, I thought.
Oh, from the one to Perry
yeah.
Meridian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I remember him. He's a tough kid.
Yep. Here's a little Jake Thrash video. I should have got more excited. Like I didn't realize it in the moment. This is how it went down, right? But like the Jaker hits a. If you guys know me, I'm a big fireman's guy. That's all I hit back in the day. And the Jaker was able to pull one off. I think he's got a little backside going on here. Bloop. Yep. Ends
Oh
up
yeah.
keeping him on his back for the pin. Jake's
Dirty
like.
business.
Yeah, the thing that coaching Jake over the years, I'm gonna like he's just a gamer, right? Like he's like we did wrestling mindset this year as a team, and I think it's been a wonderful thing. I think mindset's one of the hardest things to coach as an old man, right? Like trying to get to it and like get them past what you were getting at, Kelly, like what you were talking about, getting the kids to wrestle free, getting them to just want to score points, right? Getting that really across to them in a way, not just one speech. It's a constant build. Like some kids come built that way, and Jake's just always come built that way. It doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, I should win. Like I deserve to win, and I'm thinking, really, do you? like, but like that's it. That's his belief, right? Like
He's one of those
Yeah,
guys,
that is
Andy.
correct.
You'll watch him warming up, and you'll look him in his eyes, and he doesn't have any doubt or fear.
Nope.
He actually thinks that he's the man. Like
Yep.
you look at him
Yep.
like, is he serious? And he's like, no,
Yeah, it's
he
me.
doesn't believe anyone's
I'm the
supposed to be
guy.
beating him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's rare, right? Like that's a wonderful thing. So that's what I'll say about the Jaker. No matter what, I've been coaching him since he was 8 years old. So it's pretty cool to see. I'm happy for him. He punched his ticket, and we'll see what happens Friday night. All right,
Andy, what was that football stat you guys said in the face off for was it touchdowns?
dude. I have no clue. It's football.
No,
I forget
yeah,
what
I
it
didn't
is.
know.
Duke will
I
know.
didn't know
Does
that
it
I don't
either.
know if it
does
was
it
That
look does
touchdowns
it
or.
look
he
like
had the
Oberlin's
SEC
ever
plus
played it
10.
down in football past fifth
Well, I
Dude, I
didn't know if
broke.
Oberlin was. I didn't know if he's the one that wrote out the highlight. The
Dude, I
achievement
broke a
list.
kid's leg in like 7th grade or 8th grade or something like that, like in football.
Hey, playing that B team football, baby.
What position? You were a safety,
Defensive
Andy?
back. Defensive back.
He
Defensive
was,
back?
yeah,
Yeah.
defensive back. That's where they put all the smallest kids because in middle school ain't nobody throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get check
Yeah.
blocked all the time. All right. What do we got? 190?
We met who else is what okay, we got everyone at 75.
Yeah, we
Yep,
good.
90. This is one of my favorite weights.
I
I
know.
feel
Yep.
I
I got a
feel
little
about
highlight
this
for you.
weight similar to that I do to 150. I feel like there's a lot of parity here at 90.
No,
You
there's
guys
not.
got this one. I'll be right back.
Oh wait,
Yep.
I'm about
Dookie's
to.
got P.
No, yeah, no 90. Yeah, no 90. Yeah, you know that 90's fun.
Yeah, who's that
Um,
Caesar Salas guy? Who is he?
Hmm.
right,
Gosh.
never heard of him.
Yeah, he was on a couple of our travel teams. It's just like he's actually a cool cat, man. He's a good kid, man.
What that top quarter bracket
Shit, I know, right?
is
Michael White,
Michael White, Sam Howard,
like
Ethan
oh
Farnell.
Caesar
Michael White might
Dallas.
be the most athletic kid I might have ever seen.
Yeah.
seen
But
seen.
but
Yeah.
but the next quarter bracket you got Farnell, Terry, Godwise, and then the next one down you get that Palacios kid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've had him on a team, Kyle Harden. Um, then you go down, you get Gunnar Henry and Devin Kent. I mean that. Oh,
I just can't wrap my head around the winner of Sam Howard and Michael White gets Salas.
yeah.
Bro,
Redunkums.
those three guys, and I'm live, so don't hold me to it. What is Howard a sophomore?
Yeah.
Sophomore, yeah.
Those are three probably Division I wrestlers in one quarter bracket right there.
That are all coming back next year too. I mean,
What are you gonna do? That I watched Sam Howard try to run Gunnar Henry down and take him down in the third period. He lost 11-9. This guy's a sophomore. I've seen Michael White do ridiculous things in the offseason. They
yeah.
tell me Salas is a threat to win it right away. What in the world?
I saw Salas at Al Smith, man. He's not a freshman. There's no way. It can't be. I mean, the
No, he
kid
looks like
is
he's
a
20.
nasty
dude,
cross wrist on
dude,
top.
he was on our 15U team at what was it, the Rumble? I think it was a Rumble or something. What are the like? But so he's young, right? Like
Right.
that
He
team
was
walked through them all. He doesn't look like a
he
freshman though.
was
You're right.
he was at Heartland last year, and I was coaching the elementary gold team. And I remember like looking at him. I'm like, man, who's this 20? Like, who's this dude that's coaching the middle school team? Nah, he was wrestling. But if you've ever laid eyes on his dad, you would understand why he's so big. I
Okay,
mean,
makes sense then.
his dad's the scariest looking dude I think I've ever walked past in my life. I mean, he is a tank. Um, I mean, there's that. I bet he wakes Caesar up every morning and he's like, hey, have you lifted yet? And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. He's like, oh no, I haven't lifted yet. I gotta go lift. Um, like just there, his dad is just a huge dude. So him being that
Cool
big's really
dude
not
too.
not a shock.
I actually think he gave Nick Duke his region card.
Yeah, he said. Well, he said we're good in the region for sure. I got two of them. He said I'm good there, and so did CD
Maldonado.
Maldonado.
Yeah,
Oh, those are two good ones to get by then.
That's valid.
very valid.
Did you guys talk about Farnell already?
No, we haven't got to Farnell
Nope.
yet. No,
All right.
that's gonna be all Jawan.
Yep.
Ethan, I mean Farnell's a good kid, man. Only undefeated guy in the bracket. Not the craziest schedule at McConaughey, but he's dominated everyone they've put in front of him. Uh, got to coach him a little bit this offseason down at Virginia Beach. He looked dominant. Had a good IHBO. I think he was cutting a little bit too much weight when he was trying to do the 175 thing and fully embraced going up to 190. Probably walks around close to 200. He's a big, strong kid. On top, man, he's a pinner, but he has turns and tilts too. Real slick. I'm so interested because I think he could beat Terry, but I mean Terry got third last year, and that's your quarter. If you win that, you get the winner of that mess up top with um Michael White. Michael White, Sam Howard, first round. I can't get over that. I know you want me to talk about our semi-state, Andy, but that's still I can't stop looking at that. But no, I think
Wild.
Farnell's game. I think I talked to him when I was talking to him this offseason. I'm like, hey man, you need to be looking to win state. You got fourth as a junior. It's only up from here. So if you fall short, you fall short, but you really should be in the mindset of looking to win state. And he's been carrying himself that way. So, yeah, he just has to take it one match at a time. I imagine if he gets there, he's going to have a tough semi. I think the winner of that top half will be very tested and ought to be able to give Gunnar Henry a run for his money in the finals.
All right, I got a little video Palacio. I think being stingy here, if I remember right. Just like Palacio is one of those kids that I'm gonna give him a shout out. Like right, like he keeps wrestling here, doesn't give it up, gets away and turns. Um, I watched him go through the youth circuit, and just one of those like I really appreciate the kids that are able to grind it out, and you see him go to the youth tournaments and double dip or not place or whatever it is, and the parents are there being supportive. You see him in the corner, you see him along the walls. You just give them encouraging words, and they just keep coming back. He was one of those kids, right? And he's just I mean, obviously with Belmont and the right coaching that they have there, he's doing well, and he's just a good kid. Like you talk to him, he's always positive. I wish him the best there. Like I'm happy for him. And I hope he's able to place. He's one of those just kids that you want to root for. Just like Gavin Davis, right? But he's also I think a really good soccer goalie. So good on him. Um, and then I have another video of Farnell. I mean, this dude's just phenomenal, right? Like he's an athlete. His brother was really good. He obviously beat. Was it his brother that beat Easton Arsini out? Got third.
Yeah.
Yep.
Logan, and
Tough,
then
tough, bro.
Ethan's supposed to be joining his brother at UND next year.
Yeah, he's just a dog. I mean, look at this. That's the way he goes right back
He
at
looks
it.
good, man.
Yeah, it's gonna take a man to beat that guy. You're gonna have to put 6 minutes up.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to like. I could have showed the pin that he got on Palacio, but like, I don't want to do that to Palacio, right? Like, um,
Yeah, I mean you could have showed the pin he had on my guy. it
yeah,
was he was dominant. He was dominant. That's semi
yeah.
state.
All right. So what are we at? 215.
Yep.
Mhm.
Getting close here. All right, 215. Actually, from the local Fort kids, there's not much to say here. That I mean, you got the Hinky who's beat Fort kids. He beat Evans last year. Pretty close match at the Turkey Duels. Just a good, solid wrestler. Um, you got the McConaughey kid. I don't know anything about him. Uh, y-
He's tough. Ring guys him.
Yeah, it's nice to see him finally break through. He always seemed like he was a kid that was always on the verge of a ticket round or a first round semi-state, but he's always been solid. But it was cool to see him break through.
Is this another weight where uh, Fort Wayne could get four guys out?
Bartaszek's going to be hard to beat. The Hanover Central kid's tough, and I think he's a Howe
Yeah.
guy, so like he has some nasty hand fights. I mean, I think Evans wrestled him at Freestyle State last year, and Evans hung with him, but he was just it was late in the day, and he was ascending, right? Like he was getting tougher, and that was Evans before he was the Evans of now. And Bartaszek, I think, beat him at Freestyle State, but he's good though. I mean, he can scrap. He's kind of he's a little smaller, but
Hmm.
he's a kind of compact 215 pounder. He's low to the earth.
Yeah, he was the 215 IHPO runner up, and I remember because I was sitting Matt's side, and he had a pretty highly nationally ranked kid, Matt Kowalski from Ohio, from Springsboro, who's committed to IU, and I just saw as Kowalski walked off the mat, he was like Coach, F that, I'm cutting back to 190, but it was just like the hands from that Jaden kid. were so heavy that Kowalski was like, "Yeah, I'm done with 215." That was a pretty competitive final. So I was kind of confused when I saw he got teched at regionals. So I don't quite know what's going on there as far as the 215 parity in other semi states, but that kid's definitely tough. He was the highest placer from here at the IHBO at least.
I like Hinky. I like Hinky's draw. I think him and Jake
Mhm.
Goldsberry, obviously, I think they talked about on Indiana Matt the other night. Like you got two like raw athletes going at it there Saturday morning, barring if they both get past their first round. But I mean, I think there's a path there. I mean, I'm not going to give away any picks, but I think there's a path there for Hinky to make a run. What say you? I think I could see Hinky. I could see Hinky. He's huge. He kind of looks like a heavyweight that's cutting to 215.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that the last 2 years. I was looking, I'm like, wow, this guy looks crazy.
Yeah, I could see him.
Yes,
I could
his
see him.
physique
I
is
could see him in the finals. I
No,
think
I'm
there's a
I'm
path.
with you, Nick. I'm with you, Nick. Specifically because Weaver and Brewer are on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly it.
The other kid down at the bottom from Wawa C was the Al Smith runner up, maybe, and
Yes,
he's
Yep.
or did he win it?
he was runner up, I believe.
Runner up.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
he's
He got
tough.
second.
That Malachi Evans kid from Penn is another dude that's just a straight up athlete. I mean, he can rumble. He can get out of a lot of difficult positions. He's just really really tough. So that'll be a good one. The first round. This is actually a really good weight class, if I'm being honest, because I think Hartley Hoover, the other Fort Wayne qualifier from the Peru regional, Brody, maybe you could tell us a little bit about him, but he's got a tough one with reading. But I mean, that's probably a winnable match. Hoover's tough. I watched him this weekend. He's tough.
It's very winnable. Hoover's tough, man. He hands fights pretty well. He's a good single leg. He's another guy that's came up from like 145 now up to was it 220, 215. Um,
15.
yeah, 15. But he's tough. He's wrestled as a lightweight most of his life, so I think that helps him translate coming up in weight classes. He still has his good offense. Him and Ringgeisen, the kid from McClellan, I was talking about, has some battles this year. But him and Reading, it's definitely a winnable match. Both juniors, I believe. I think they're both looking to crack the podium for the first time.
Yeah, Hinky's just stingy with those hips, right? Like he's a big boy, like you were saying. He's almost like a heavyweight, isk wrestling 215 and super hard to score on. It'd be interesting to see if anyone's even scored on a takedown with him this year. I
I
know
bet
that
I could see it not happening. He's good, man. He's
yeah,
really. I think he's under. I know he's ranked number 3 in the state, but I feel like he's not getting enough love.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. Weaver's obviously. I mean,
No, Weaver's
that's a tall. You're
tough.
talking about a
Yeah,
tall task.
Yeah.
yeah. All right,
And
heavy.
Weaver's loss comes in the Ironman finals, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. California kid.
So
No,
tired.
no, it was
I'm so
Iola
tired
of
about hearing
Nebraska.
about the Iron Man. The Iron Man, whatever. Like, hey, I got 2 losses Iron Man. I should be ranked number 1 in state. Shut it. All right, next up. Heavyweight.
Yeah, the Ironman's not even that tough.
No. 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 I think the East Noble tournament, like the
Should
East Noble
should they
tournament.
only count in state matches? Should only count for ranking
Yeah.
criteria.
Western
We
Invitational.
we shouldn't even talk about out of state tournaments. They shouldn't be a thing. We don't know how
Yeah,
good those.
who
They have
cares? Who
divisions.
cares if you beat like 6 nationally ranked guys? You weren't wrestling in-state guys. It doesn't count.
Yeah, they have divisions. We don't know. They probably have
Yeah,
wrestlebacks too. All right, heavyweight.
probably.
Is it real
Another
stats?
good, another really fun class. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm going to stay out of this one for the most part. I'm a little biased being a home state coach, but I like I'll just say I like the Fort Wayne guys across the board. Keep in mind this is 4 Fort Wayne regionals. Our regional cleaned house here, went 4 for 4
yeah,
out of the
yeah.
out of
And
the
our
Fort Wayne
regional
Carroll
is
regional.
facing all of Newcastle's regional. I think it's a Newcastle versus Fort Wayne regional. which is a little crazy, right?
No, they got three. So it's three. Three of them got out of what? Where do you got? Is it Pan
Perry.
Meridian Regional?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's three
Yeah.
out of Perry, and
Blevins,
then one
Blevins,
out of
Blessing.
Westfield is Northmont.
Yep, Westfield's Northmont.
Yeah. So three Perry, one Northmont.
Heavy
Yep.
heavyweight was ridiculous in the Carroll Regional this year. Like you said, there was my heavyweight won 25 plus matches and didn't get out of sectional. He was in the thick of it. Evans, McGrant. On the other side, Lothamer didn't get out of the regional, and I imagine he would have won any quarter bracket he probably would have been in at semi-state.
He's got a
Northern
win.
heavyweight was
Lothamer has a
decent.
win over. Lothamer has a win already over Zach Blevins from Greenfield Central, who Kuhlman has first rounds. Lothamer beat him at Connorsville. So I mean, Lothamer got knocked out of the regionals the first round, but was ranked 13th, 14th ish maybe in the state. I don't know, maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower. I don't know, but
He
he
had
was
some tough wins. He beat Amberger. So
it's just
yeah,
tough,
the
man.
our regionals was ridiculous at heavyweight, and it doesn't get too much easier
No,
moving forward because you'll have two returning state qualifiers and Lothamer.
yep,
Nope. Yeah. Well, it should be.
Um,
This should be interesting. Like, I don't know if, like, I'm gonna brag on my guy a little bit. I don't know if people have actually seen the size of the dude, right? I get it that he wrestled Forrester, and Forrester is just a mammoth being, but when Caleb moves and decides to move, it's crazy fast and athletic, right? Like it's something to be seen. So, like, I get it. Everyone's picking CP. Good for you. Obviously we gotta get past Friday night, but anything can
hey,
happen in
look,
this weight class. It's heavyweight.
I I,
my
uh, I told
my
Nick that a
official
grown man should not be able to cradle Isaiah Coleman.
Yeah, I got that. I got that on video here in a second.
That should
my
not happen.
my official pick'ems have Caleb Evans
I know. I love you for it.
as your state champion.
I got
Yep.
Evans as well.
To me, we were talking about Lincoln Carter. To me, if Caleb Evans can win this bracket, and even to me, even with a high medal, if he shows some of the athleticism and strength and mobility that you've been talking about, Andy, this past couple weeks, if he can put another good week together, I imagine there's some colleges calling as well because
Yeah, that's what we're hopeful for.
he looks the true part. I know the credential matters at heavyweight, and we'll see what he does this weekend. But if he puts another weekend together like he has recently, you're probably gonna get a couple calls.
It sucks he's a senior too, man. I feel like he's kind of a late bloomer. I know he's always been good. Don't get me wrong, but I feel
That's
like
because he's 17. I
he's
think,
found his notch. Oh,
dude.
he's
He's
17.
yeah, he's
yeah,
young.
he's
Even
young.
when I
Listen,
saw him wrestle the other week, I was like, oh wait, this is not the guy I was rolling around with in April or
No,
May. I was like, oh, because I'm thinking in my head like, oh, I've wrestled around with it, and I looked down, and was like, oh, that's a completely different guy. That is not the guy I was wrestling with in the beginning of summer, late spring.
Yeah, I've watched him mature as we went. Here's a. This isn't the best of his doubles, but man, he has some really good ones that he's able to kind of run through people. Right, he's just big ox, boom. Um, I mean,
Yeah,
you see
I
his
love his
he
snatch.
tried to.
I love his snatch knee single too
Yeah, look,
when he'll snatch.
this dude's probably this snap usually works on most, right? Watch how much his head moves on this snap. Be like 2 inches. It just runs through him, right? Like he's tough like that. And then here's the Coolman cradle. And Coolman's tough, right? Like Coolman's got 3 losses, all 3 to Caleb. That's it. That's it. Right? That's like he's only a junior. My goodness.
yeah,
He's
Coolman's
so
gonna be
big, man.
Coolman and Lothamer and Reynolds are gonna be a serious problem next year.
Oh yeah, serious problem. And Coolman holds a really good position. I mean, he's a good heavyweight dude. Like he is like the 3 losses that he has against Caleb are underestimated. I would
Yeah,
not be
and
surprised if we
it
see those
almost
two in the finals.
wow,
I
that's a
don't.
good
I don't
point.
want to. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I think there's a path. And anything can happen. I could be totally off in this flip flop, but I think. I mean, McGrant's already beat the New Palestine kid once this year. I mean, Kuhlman's going to be hard to beat regardless of who it is. If Kuhlman ended up in the finals, I don't know if I'd be all that shocked. I've seen film of Hazlett. I haven't seen him up close. Forrest is really, really good. Him and Kuhlman would be an interesting matchup because Kuhlman's a big body, right? Like Kuhlman is probably able to would match up well with him. So that would be a good one. But I think Kuhlman, Evans, McGrant can, those are winnable, and Reynolds Reynolds is unranked as the 4 seed, but so is the number 1 seed out of Warren Central with 5 losses. So I mean, all Warren kids, they're going to come ready to scrap it up if that's what it takes. Like they're going to be prepared. Their coaches are always they always
Does
have it locked in
Gwizdowski
this time of
coach
year.
there?
I think Chico Adams coaches the heavyweights there. I
Okay,
want
well,
to say so they're ready to roll.
Yeah.
Wisdowski
Well,
was there
the
at one time,
the
though, I thought.
the, the entire Warren Central staff, I think, is the old CIA staff.
yeah.
Reynolds
Yeah,
is tough, man.
Gil,
I think Reynolds as a 4 seed is dangerous. People don't know a whole lot about him. He's hot at the right time. Like it seems like during the middle of the year, Kraus was kind of like, he's getting there. I'm not sure. And then come sectionals, he bombed Lothamer, uh, bombed the Belmont kid in the
Baker.
first round of semi-state. Like he's
Yeah, Kraus said
he's
all
tough.
year that he was going to go to state. I was like, I didn't see it personally. I'm like, wow, it's really crowded kind of there at heavyweight. But he got hot at the right time. I think
Yep, he's rolling.
I think we have a good shot at getting 4 medals at heavyweight for the Carroll Regional and Fort Wayne Semi-State. We're going to need them to help our overall
Hey,
average.
go on. We
I'm
don't talk
just
about that.
we
Not the
got
end of
to
the
we got
show.
to get we got
That's
to
not
get
how.
them where we
That's not
can.
how we. That's not how we wrap up.
Right.
All right.
Right.
All right. Let's go night night. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I still gotta go home. My nose is cold. It's cold in here. I didn't turn the heat up.
Yeah, I got to pack a bag. All right, boys. It's
All
been
right.
real. Let's do it again
Right on,
sometime.
guys. Thanks for
I'll
having
see,
me on.
all right. See you this
All right, thanks
weekend.
See you,
for having
brother.
me, guys.
Love you
Good luck
Yep.
guys.
this week.
Thanks,
Good luck
Kelly.
this weekend, everybody.
Yep.
260.
Night night.